going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Arsenal Podcast. Today is February 2nd, the eve of Super Bowl. Not that I give a shit about that. And we're here to talk about a couple decent subjects and things we do care about. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Right. I agree. Yes.
We don't care about football.
I love football. I don't know what your problem is, Hacks. Because, two teams that legalize pot are going to a Super Bowl. Saying.
I don't care because my team isn't in it. That's why I don't care.
Who's your team?
The Eagles? Philly? Come on now.
Philly? Man, that team was a joke this year, brother.
You're right. What did New York do this year?
Yo, New York Giants were a joke. My team, the Jets, did okay.
What did both of them do?
We got 8-8, and we ruined Miami's season.
Oh, see? What happened to your division?
Yo, just once again, Tom Brady.
There we go. Go Eagles! Anyway.
Yep. So what's up, guys? What's been going on?
Missed out on a couple podcasts, settle into the new year, so we didn't get to do this podcast in January like we wanted to, so we're going to make up for it.
Definitely, and loading screen's been behind because of technology problems. I mean, my battery dying, Keith had a dead mic, and we could go on. Just straight up, January just killed us.
More other things I'd rather not talk about today.
Right.
So we'll talk about it today.
Yeah, exactly. January is supposed to be a month of reflection, so.
I reflect on nothing. Fuck that. I keep moving.
I reflected on why I still play Iron Tiger and Blaze Blue. I reflected on why I make these decisions.
So what was the answer you came up with?
I play with him because no matter how people consider him low tier, no matter how much hate he gets, I can still take your money with him.
Yo.
They taking my money because I don't play that game.
And welcome back, Elf, from the grave of artistitutions.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on there? In the middle of the recording. Say hi.
Yeah.
I said hi, not yeah. Anyway, while Elf gets himself together, let's go ahead in. So, I wanted to talk about some grief that people have been throwing around regarding Bethesda's upcoming Elder Scrolls Online MMO. Because they're bringing it to the consoles for people that aren't in the know, for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. And there's been a lot of hate going around because if you play it on the PlayStation 4, obviously you can play it for free, minus the online subscription for them. But if you play it on the Xbox camp, you have to pay for the Xbox Live Gold account, plus you have to pay for your monthly subscription fee.
Yeah, and this problem actually happened before on Xbox Live. When Phantasy Star Universe came out, you not only have to pay Sega, you also have to pay Xbox.
Right. And I was talking to Neff about that earlier.
Phantasy Star Universe, you have to pay a separate subscription fee?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. You had to pay for the Hunter's fee, and then you had to turn out and pay Microsoft for their Xbox Live account.
Yep.
And needless to say, I enjoy Phantasy Star, but that shit made me stop playing real quick.
I'm sorry, but that is a ridiculous model, especially when their most famous entry, PSO, had a much better model.
The problem is that because it was a premium MMO, Phantasy Star Online was kind of free, and this was the early times, so let it slide. Problem is though, it was on Xbox, and Microsoft and Sega didn't really work together with this.
No, not even the Xbox. It was on Dreamcast, and that shit was free.
Right.
As long as you had an online subscription.
Well, back then, online subscription for gaming was unheard of. It wasn't until Microsoft came out with Xbox Live, and I don't want to say they're the forerunners because Sega did it first, but Sega didn't charge people for this.
No.
So it's a big deal.
Why did they start doing now?
Because
greedy.
Well, no. There's a couple things here.
It is greed. Greed is the major aspect of why they're doing that.
Well, see, what I was going to say is it's a split. It's greed and it's business. I understand that you want to make money. I understand that. But Microsoft, as the gatekeeper for the online services, needs to understand that there's certain things you should charge for and certain things you should not. Take a hint from Sony. Sony isn't doing this. Sony is not charging you for PlayStation Plus. If you want to play Elder Scrolls Online on the PlayStation 4, you don't have to pay for their PlayStation Plus account. Again, Microsoft, you do. And like Matt said, they did this back in the day on Phantasy Star. They did this back on. They did this with the previous Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy Online for the Xbox. They did that as well. You had to pay for both. And this was also a big subject when Square Enix was going to bring out Phantasy Star: A Realm Reborn. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy: A Realm Reborn on both Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but they chose not to because they didn't like the way the architecture set up. They don't think it's right that subscribers have to pay a subscription fee and an Xbox Live Gold account. So they didn't bring it to the 360, and they're not bringing it to the Xbox One, which is, I understand the business model from Square. I understand the business model from Microsoft. And I feel that Microsoft is hurting their customers because Final Fantasy A Realm Reborn is a fantastic MMO. It's their best game they brought out in some time. And, if you're on the Xbox platform, you're missing out.
I think. Wait, you think it's the best Final Fantasy MMO they made? Because I felt that previous Final Fantasy MMOs are just really grindy.
No, this actually shits on them. They finally did a good job.
They
retooled everything.
Right?
Yes.
Well, it's nice that they actually start experimenting with that and come out sparingly, as opposed to pushing an MMO update every 5 seconds, along with their other Final Fantasy. Then it would have been around the same quality.
I think it's because Square is pretty much at the point. I would say creatively, they're like, man, we have to stop. Let's just stop doing new things and fix things, because it's like ever since their last smash hit, I would probably say would be Sleeping Dogs. They learned that what? Let's just stop being fancy. Let's just fix what's working, and it's been doing okay
what's
for
the
them.
Sleeping Dogs attributed to a Western studio?
We published it. It's ours, baby.
Yeah, and that's the same stuff I talked about with Neff, and we go back and forth because Sega does the same thing. Sega publishes the game, but they don't publish it.
Let's remind each other how we always get to that topic, and then it never stops.
No, we're not ragging on Sega.
Into it. We're just talking the idea of like how much a hand publishers have in content, and that's why they get the credit for it.
Yeah, that's true, but. Again, Square Enix deliberately got into the Western development cycle because they don't know how to make these type of games.
That's
they straight
one.
up said, I'm buying you because you can make this type of game.
And two, they were cheap because of the THQ sale.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not just that, but it's just like here you got some developers that have great IPs, like for instance, Eidos with the Tomb Raider franchise.
Right.
That too. But I'm talking about Eidos in general, and it would have been stupid for them not to have bought Eidos, because Tomb Raider is one of the biggest franchises to this day.
Of course.
Even though I didn't like the new Tomb Raider, I thought it was like whatever, it was okay,
well. It was enjoyable.
No, I mean, it did so well, but I'm talking about as a game. I didn't really care for it too much, because it wasn't Tomb Raider. It was just like some kind of whatever, but they would have been stupid to not have bought Eidos. They should. I don't think that Square bought them because they're a Western developer. I think they more likely bought them because they're just good developers and they have good property
and the good quality.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, can you imagine Square Enix directly developing a Tomb Raider?
Oh, it'd be horrible. Square Enix is all they develop is RPGs. That's their knowledge base.
Let's not say that. Let's get back on topic real quick. Their history. They've done other games.
Let's talk about some important things. Let's talk about important things.
First of all, Hacks, I'm not going to get into Dissidia and I'm not going to get into Guys, okay? I'm not going to get into Einhander that. And Einhander and Guys.
Don't forget their racing game. Don't forget their racing game they did.
What racing game they came out with?
Seriously?
Yeah. Yep. What racing game they came out with?
Sorry.
We're not talking about the Bouncer, right?
They did a couple racing games.
What? Tell me which ones.
What was it? Drive-In Emotion, S-Type, or Type S, way back in the day.
RPGs count like
they did Chocobo Racing.
Matt, an RPG is an RPG, so if it's action or whatever, it's an RPG.
Okay, I'll let it slide. Because if you give somebody like the straight turn-based thing, they've been trying to like update that format forever.
They've been trying.
They did a race way back in the day. You never played Drive-In Emotion Type S?
No, because you know why? I know Driving Emotion Type S, but first of all, I forget about that game. It had a good soundtrack, but I forget about it. And then on top of that, you didn't need to play it because it was a subpar Gran Turismo wannabe.
Yeah, so were a lot of racing games back in that era because they all tried to be Gran Turismo. But anyway, You're right.
Let's talk about something more important.
That's not true because Konami came out with Enthusia, and that was actually a pretty tight Gran Turismo-esque racer, you know. So
notice you said Gran Turismo.
Yeah. Let's talk about football.
No, we're not talking about football. You missed the intro. We're not talking any football. None.
No football. No football.
What I miss? Who's going for what?
We're not going to talk about the Super Bowl, okay?
What are you talking about? Super Bowl football.
You know what we are gonna talk about? Those shitty ass designs in the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie.
Yeah.
Hold up. If anyone's gonna get a grand opinion, it's the guy who actually fucking draws it here. So,
Okay, so let me hear what you gotta say. Let me hear.
But I draw network diagrams. Does that count?
Network
diagrams. Say that again.
I draw network diagrams.
Vector diagrams is only the plebeian arts. The plebeian arts. It's an art, but
you suck, Elf. Go ahead.
Fraud.
On the real. Yeah, everybody was expecting worse from the designs when we first saw it. I mean, first design that got thrown out was the Michelangelo Ninja Turtle costume that was coming out for Halloween, and yeah, internet just went on them.
Yeah, the internet is strong today.
No, it went on a rampage.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Just the face.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'd rather the turtles look like that than the way they look. These designs I've been seeing, like they don't even look like turtles. They look like lizard men. Yeah, nah. They don't even look like action. They look like fucking lizard man from Soul Calibur with shells.
They look like Ninja Trek.
They don't look like.
That is what they were calling them before the other turtle designs.
They don't look like Ninja Turtles. They don't look like Ninja Turtles, is what I'm saying. Like, and it's not like a live. It's not like a live action film has not made Ninja Turtles. Like we have. One of the greatest films ever made in the very first Ninja Turtles film back in 1990.
Made by Jim Henson Company. And I actually forget who directed it.
It was Steve Barron. He directed the first Turtles film. Steve Barron.
There you go. So, it didn't have any hacking. It had an independent director. It had.
What I'm saying is that you had the Turtles look realistic, and this was 24 years ago. So it's like,
and then
for them to come up. But here they're doing CGI with this one, and so to see the design. And yet 2007,
regardless of the shitty plot, there was a CGI turtle movie, and it looked just like the turtles, and it moved animated, beautiful.
Yeah. TMNT 2007, horrible plot, but it looked great. It was a good-looking movie. A good-looking design.
The cinematography was good. The choreography was good.
Yeah, good fight scenes. Right, good fight scenes, good voice acting, right. But the plot was the plot and everything that happened, in terms of the plot, was really bad.
So how do we go? Here's the problem. Here's the problem with adding accessories. And I have to say, I'm ashamed because, years ago when I was a kid, I did the same thing. I thought, you know what will make the turtles cooler? If Leonardo looked like a samurai and Donatello looked like a cyborg and Raphael looks more badass and Michelangelo has all bunch of bling. That's not wrong with that. You know why? Because that is wrong. That is wrong. But you know why?
No.
The whole point of being a ninja is practicality. The less stuff that you have, the more you can blend in and be faster. That's the whole point of them being so minimalist in design.
Listen. The reason kids did that was to put their own little take. That's why you had all the Ninja Turtle toys that had all these different features and different costumes.
But that's what this design looks like. It looks like a blatant action figure.
But listen, I'm not mad at that if it was a toy or something. But if you're talking about these are how the turtles look, default in this new movie, then I'm like, what the fuck?
Who's to say this wasn't made for toys? Remember, Playmates is a big factor with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and sometimes they actually make decisions that go over the creators' heads. I remember. Not when it comes to TMNT 2003. You remember after season 4, everything started going to shit. You want to know why? Because Playmates, who owned a fraction of the franchise at the time, started making shit decisions because they want more action figures.
Wait, this was the one like the Back to the Sewer toy started coming out?
There was
that's that one. Yeah, that one. That one.
Fast Forward.
Yeah, Back to the Sewer. Right.
Back to the Sewers. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Fast Forward was horrible. Back to the Sewers was less horrible, but still not great.
But it was a design conscience in order to make more action figures.
Yeah, it was I saw so many more toys at Toys R Us. I mean, I don't go to Toys R Us. I'm like, yo, what are these like Ninja Turtle toys from the new show? Like, what?
So this is what is striking me. It's a marketable design to make the action figures and the toys and the merchandise look as kid friendly as possible. Like, I'm sorry, who are you targeting this shit to?
I think it's because it's like I think I probably talked to this maybe with Keith or someone else before, maybe even Z Slash from the Bookshelf podcast. Is that the problem with it is that they're thinking very 80s, they're thinking very minimal. It's like, yo, toys aren't the only ways to make money off things. You can make it from DVDs, selling streams, whatever. Toys should be 100% your moneymaker.
But you can't just put that on Michael Bay and Company and Nickelodeon. That's every company.
I know, exactly. There's a lot of people doing it, and it's the same way with like. What was it? The reason why like Young Justice got canceled because I heard they weren't selling toys. And I'm like, toys you could sell. There's people like Netflix is a big thing now. People binge watch shows, and that makes money.
That makes money. So why is this corporate matter not working?
Exactly. Why aren't we? Stop trying to think that toys are the only fact. Toys are a nice factor. That should be the only design. You could make money from selling DVDs, T-shirts, which is more applicable because you hit a bigger age group. So
are you saying we're gonna have good quality cartoons when you become a corporate suit, Matt?
I already am the corporate suit, but yes, maybe.
Because you seem to be. This generation seems to be. Yeah.
Let me say this. So the reason Young Justice wasn't selling toys is because the Young Justice figures were horrible.
Well, that's a different thing. But the point is like, why would you like? And the problem is the demographic of the show. It's like. I know you want to sell toys. That's cool, but that shouldn't be your main focus. There's other ways. Like, what if, like, for example, My Little Pony is making legitimate money. I don't know how, but it is. Because it got grown men not buying figurines. They're buying the comics. They're buying the graphic novels. They're buying some of the figurines, and they're buying, like, everything that's almost associated with the show.
Yeah, don't forget the clothing. They're buying clothes, hoodies, T-shirts. Right. It's like, what the hell? And back on Young Justice real quick.
And this is the thing marketed toward girls.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're getting all the demographics at once.
Exactly.
But the reason they're doing that is because you have a show that's actually genuinely well done. It's actually a good show.
That's the thing. It's fine. I'm fine with that. The problem is, it was like, look at that model. They're just doing just sell it to everybody. Who cares? It's like as long as somebody's giving you money, it's all good.
Yeah. Right. Why doesn't people have that model?
I agree. No, I agree with you because the thing with My Little Pony is that they started off for it to be aimed at little girls, and it's still aimed at little girls, but they switched up who also they included the male demographic when it became a big hit with males. You know what I mean? So
the comic demographic, people who read comics.
Right. Exactly. So they were smart that they saw that and they catered to both. They catered to the little girls who was the original demographic, and then they morphed it so that it can include men. So. I'm a fan of the show, but I don't buy the merchandise and shit. I just watch the show and I enjoy it.
Exactly.
You watch the show?
Yeah. Yeah, I like My Little Pony. It's a good show.
I watch the show as well.
But I wouldn't call myself a brony because I don't buy the merchandise. I'm not into the shirts. I don't get any posters or figures.
Yo, I got two of them in my office. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, I'm not mad at you. I'm not like mad at you. I'm saying I'm just saying the fact that I wouldn't be considered a brony because I don't buy the merchandise and stuff. I
don't have. Wait. First of all, I don't have posters in my office. But wait. So am I classified as a brony because I actually brought figures because I got them for my daughter?
For you or was it for your daughter?
For my daughter.
Exactly, it doesn't count. It was for your daughter.
Right. So you're not a brony then. If you bought them for you, then you're a brony.
Yeah. No, dude. If you are willing to drive from Memphis, Tennessee, to a BronyCon all the way in San Francisco, then you are classified as a brony.
Why the fuck would I do that?
I know that because me and Z-Slash had to watch a documentary for the LOLs just because we were fucking cute. Why?
Yeah, basically.
And listen, I'm not even like much love to the bronies,
hey, I can't hate on them anymore. I can't.
I never hated on the bronies. It's just
It's weird. It's just a weird thing.
It's not. It's to me, it's not weird. It's just like anything else. You like something, and you support the incarnations of it. Like the only difference is My Little Pony is intended for girls. You know what I'm saying? But
I think it kind of reminds me of Pop-Up Girls, but people were okay with that. Now it's like it's like a shift. It's like people are cool being fanboys about Pop-Up Girls. I remember when I was like 15.
Well, Powerpuff Girls is,
it also had the violence.
Well, Powerpuff Girls wasn't really aimed for little girls. You know what I'm saying? It was a show that was made by a guy who was who's one of us. He's a freaking he loves comic. He Greg McCracken.
He was making that as a parody of anime, actually.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is that he made it, and it wasn't intended to. It's not like My Little Pony, where it was intended to be for little girls when it, through its inception. Like Craig McCracken, he made it because he loved anime. He made something for himself and for people that was very similar to him. That had this.
That was back then when people actually did it for the art, not for demographics.
Right. Well, I mean, the thing is that. My Little Pony, I don't think they did it in terms like when they came out with this Friendship with Magic, this new show. I don't think they did it in terms
of just make money. They did. At first,
no, understand.
No. True fact. Lauren Faust first came to them to pitch Galaxy Girls, her other project.
Yeah, but that still got canned.
That was basically American Sailor Moon, but that got canned. And then they said, you know what? This is pretty good, but we don't want it. How about can you do My Little Pony instead?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was like, I need a paycheck.
And you know what? I'm not mad. I'm happy that's what happened. I'm happy.
But the intention was first for girl demographic. She converted it into something for everyone.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like when they saw what she could do, they was like, you know what? They were smart and said, hey, let her do what she does best. You know what I'm saying? And so she came out with something. And that shit was hilarious. Like, for instance, that show, that they had a movie like that came out like last year or something. I think it was called Equestria Girls or something.
Yeah. That was supposed to be a spin-off, but nobody wanted that.
Well, it was actually a pretty good movie. I was actually a little like worried about it because it was like they were going to be humanoids and stuff now, and I was like, what's going on? But it was actually a pretty good movie. But they had a lot of funny shit in there that, like, for instance, you got to watch. I don't really want to spoil, but they had some funny shit in there that made you like, wow, you know what I'm saying? It was actually some good little couple of inside jokes in there that fans of other properties knew. Like they had like a little reference for Transformers in that movie. It was actually really well done, and it was hilarious. Like you got to watch it to really understand, to really get it. But that show really is really written for like families in mind. Like it's a show that not just little girls can watch and enjoy, but like their little brothers, little boys, parents.
As much as we would love to hear your declaration of My Little Pony, let's go back to the topic.
Well, yes, please.
Two quick things. Okay.
Right. I was just going by what you were saying.
Which one did you like the most?
I don't like any of them at all.
You don't like any of them?
I think all of the turtle designs are just bad. I mean, first of all, Leon, like all of them have these. They have shoes on. Like they have those tabby slippers. From like,
I wouldn't mind that. I don't mind.
Nah. Come on. Why? Since when does the Ninja Turtles wear clothes? Come on.
And they have done in other incarnations, but at least they're doing it from practicality course. Like, okay,
the turtles are animals. The turtles are these are like the samurai like tabby slippers,
the samurai tabby slipper. All right.
Yeah, and they got first, and then they have gauntlets on their shins. They got gauntlets on their arms. They got like armor and stuff on their shoulders. And then each one of them has their own little differentiating the way they wear their clothes and stuff. Like Donatello has some crazy gadget on his head and stuff. And then Raphael doesn't even have a bandana. Raphael has like some kind of big like
underwear on top of him.
Yeah, like he has some kind of scarf. It looks like a
he looks like a fucking sumo wrestler on roids.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like I don't like
everybody
the way
looks like they're on roids except maybe Mikey.
No, and that's not even. And and I'm not even worried about how big they look. Like I'm talking about.
No. I am worried about how big they look because as ninjas, they're supposed to be light and agile. Making them huge as fuck. It doesn't mean nothing, man. These are not the Transformers. They're not supposed to be meant for, big splash.
Nah, dude, the Turtles always been big, muscular characters.
No, they've been stocky. They've been like Wolverine. Short and stocky, but not.
But that's still
huge.
big. But that's still big. I mean, we're talking about muscle mass. We're talking about muscle mass, and that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about like height or nothing like that. We're talking about muscle mass. And the Turtles have always been big. A lot of incarnations. The comic books, especially when they were. Remember when they were at Image Comics for that little duration and back in the.
Oh yeah, I blame that on Image. I blame that on Image. They don't.
No. But what I'm saying is that's not Image is not the only one that had that type of. Big muscular turtles. And what I'm saying is that this incarnation, the way they're designed, reminds me of the way they looked at when they were at Image Comics. When like they started deviating. When they started deviating from the way the turtle looks, they started designing. Like for instance, each turtle looked different in terms of had different things on. Remember when Michelangelo, his hand was cut off or something, or was it Donatello?
That was Leo. That was Leo.
Okay, that was but they started changing the designs of the turtles.
Leo has his hand cut off and replaced with a sword. Donnie turned into a gigantic cyborg, and Raphael was some kind of fucking dinosaur thing.
Yeah, he turned into his mutagen. He turned into a monster or something like that. Yeah, and so it was really, it was really stupid, and that's what these designs remind me of. They don't even look like Ninja Turtles. They look like
Have you ever seen the design by Chris Anka? Chris Anka is a designer who does Uncanny X-Force and a lot of the Marvel stuff. He designed a bunch of turtles, and even though a few of them were brolic as fuck, they were actually practical. Really good. Like Michelangelo actually looked like a real ninja. Leonardo had the whole samurai thing, but he looked more like Mitsurugi than whatever the hell he's supposed to look like. Now, the point is, you can still do individual accessories for turtles. You gotta make them practical. You have to make them fit for the design.
No, Elf, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that these don't even look like Ninja Turtles. They look like some kind of big green lizard guys with shells. You know what I'm saying?
But why are we surprised? Is freaking Michael Bay and his cronies doing this shit?
Michael Bay is just producing it. He's not.
Yeah,
he's just producing it.
How many times have we seen a producer chuck his influence, put out his clout because he has money?
No. Michael Bay is not. He is not the brainchild of this. He's not like writing the script or nothing. The guy who's directing this, the people that are making the movie in terms of the director, the writer, the character designers, that's not Michael Bay. Michael Bay is just producing it. He's just a big name behind it for it to become, for it to be a big hit. He's Michael Bay, and I like Michael Bay. I'm actually a fan of Michael Bay.
Wait a second, Neff. Has anybody come out and stated who is responsible for the character designs yet?
Not yet. So far, they've been showing images of the toys, of set designs, of mannequins, and yes, they showed the Shredder. He looks like fucking Megatron.
Yeah, he does. He does look. But actually, Shredder doesn't look as bad as the Turtles do because he still looks like Shredder.
No. Compared to the original Shredder from the movie.
But I'm saying his armor, the way it's designed, it still evokes Shredder. It still looks like Shredder.
It seems like Super Shredder or Cyber Shredder or some kind of.
Okay, but he still looks like Shredder. He still looks a lot like Shredder. You still see Shredder. I don't see the Turtles in these new designs. They look like some kind of dirty lizard guys or something.
Sorry, I don't see anyone in those new designs, and I only like Leo and Donnie because they at least look practical. And they don't look fucking retarded.
And then on top of that, the Turtles have lips.
Yeah. Yo, 101. Michelangelo is gonna be the black guy.
Every Leo looks black. Everybody looks like everybody.
No, but Michelangelo is gonna be the black stereotype guy. He's gonna be the nigger. Telling you now.
I'm not. Leo looks black to me too, though. Leo looks black to me too.
Yeah, but you remember Transformers 2?
Yes, I do. I remember Transformers.
You remember Jazz?
I remember Transformers 1. Yeah, I remember. I remember part 1, right? I remember.
No, trust me. Mikey can be black out.
But listen, that's irrelevant because Jazz is a memorable character from the original show, but he's, they messed him up, but
this is different because with Doug.
No, but I'm saying, but these are turtles. Those are Transformers. This is a different aspect. You're just talking about personality when it came to the Transformers. That's all they did with, like, Jazz didn't look like a black guy as a Transformer. He was voiced by a black guy, and he was very, he has a stereotypical inner city type of slang and stuff, but we're talking about the turtles. They don't look like turtles. They look like some big, dirty lizard motherfuckers with shells. Like and then they got clothes and shit and armor and shit on. It just looks stupid.
What's her name? It's gonna be April O'Neil. Yeah.
I mean, listen. I think they could have. I know they could have got a lot better people to play April O'Neil. But
they could have got a lot better people to do the whole movie. Period.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, exactly. But at the same time, it's like, I'm like, Megan Fox being April O'Neil is the last thing I'm worried about right now.
Yeah, actually, believe it or not, compared to all of this, she's a non-factor.
Exactly. So I'm really upset at this because we have 24 years worth of Ninja Turtles films. And none of them looked as bad. I mean, as bad as Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, the movie was, as horrible as that movie and as horrible as the Turtles looked in that movie, they still look like Ninja Turtles at least.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm seeing, like, every turtle looks completely different. There's no they don't look like Ninja Turtles that...
If you look at the new Nicktoons series, they also have different body types. But
the turtles.
They were actually just a little bit, just by a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that was the same thing in the first Turtles movie. Like they were different size actors in the suits. Michelangelo was the smallest of all of them in the original film. Like all of them had different body types as well. But that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that. I mean, it's good that the turtles have different body types, but I'm mad that the turtles outside, in terms of the bandanas, they have armor on, they wear clothes, they're wearing clothes. They don't look, they just look really messed up in terms of the design. They don't look like Ninja Turtles, and that's what I'm saying.
You know what's sad? You know what? Really sad?
What?
Ninja Turtles Next Mutation looks better than this.
Yo, that's exactly what I was saying. Yeah. Oh my God.
Venus de Milo is more preferable than whatever Michael Bay is going to come up with.
Yo, that's what I was saying. I was like, as bad as Next Mutation was, the Next Mutation Turtles look way better than this new shit. Like, exactly. I was sad. I was like, I'm pissed at that, man. Like,
moving on to something else that you could be pissed about.
Okay, what?
So, how about that rumor? Is Nintendo going mobile, or are they chicken shit?
No, it's not a rumor anymore.
It's happening. It's legit.
Wait. They've been going up and down. I said, we're not doing this.
They came back like a couple of days later, confirmed they will be doing projects for mobile, but they will not be doing games. More applications.
Okay, describe what exactly are they doing for a mobile market in order to appease them to a Nintendo game.
They haven't stated what.
Then they're chicken shit. They have no idea what the hell they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They just know what they're doing.
No, they don't know what they're doing. They're just like in the dark right now.
Because the problem is the mobile market, that is their true competitor. Forget Xbox and PS3. They're done with that. No. Their enemy is Apple and Android and any mobile market independent apps, because they are also focusing on family games and all that stuff, but at a cheaper consumer price.
Mobile games just cost minimum nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Whereas handheld Nintendo games, cost $50 and shit like that. Doesn't make any sense.
To be fair, what they were saying is they don't. This is from what they said. They don't want to cheapen the experience. They don't want to take games, for example, Mario, throw them onto a platform where physical buttons are a necessity and they don't have them. Now, I can understand that, but at the same time, you have countless controllers for iPhones and iPads and Android tablets and Android phones that could easily make up for that experience. In fact, tons of them out there are being marketed for that.
But hacks. No one is expecting them to bring Mario to a smartphone. What people are expecting is, like, if they do go mobile, create new IPs, which Nintendo is not good at doing.
Well, that's what you failed on this. Well, not you, but most people don't understand. Nintendo is horrible for new IPs. What is the last new IP Nintendo's ever had?
Pikmin.
Yeah, Pikmin.
Pikmin's been running since when?
Since GameCube.
Since the GameCube.
No. Actually, Chibi Robo. Chibi Robo was the last new IP, I think.
Actually, if you want to get technical, the Wii Sports line.
Nah, that's that. Yeah, well,
that is that's technically a new IP.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Wii Sports.
Okay, so they've had two in the last 10 years.
But that's because Nintendo's always problem is that they are still stuck on the old age. They have no fresh blood.
And that's their problem.
Shigeru Miyamoto as a god when they can be using anyone else. When was the last new games that hardcore gamers have been appeased to it? They've been
Wonderful 101, I think. People like Wonderful 101.
Wonderful 101.
But Platinum Games,
but that's not from Nintendo.
That's Platinum Games, yeah.
That's Platinum Games and Intellectual Game. When they have games that appease to other people, it's always based on second and third party companies.
Right.
Hold on. Before we start anything, let's make this clear. Nintendo's main problem is that they do not have third party support. That is their main issue right now.
That's always been their issue. It's been their issue since the days of the Super Nintendo.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is that the reason I'm mentioning it as because let's not confuse that, that if they started making some new games or
not at all. I don't think anybody's here is confused with that one because we've been saying this for a while in countless our podcasts.
Because that would not save them. Like if they made some new IP, that would not save them.
No, we said this for how many times have we had this conversation? Nintendo's biggest thing.
Right.
Nintendo's biggest thing, other than them making subpar systems, is the fact that they're stuck in the past and they lack third-party support. And the third-party support that they get are niche titles. And I'm going to come out and say I love Monster Hunter, but Monster Hunter outside of Japan is a niche title. It is.
Right. I agree.
Pretty much.
I agree.
And the major
and then the third-party support they do get, they later regret it and then take back their word from it. Taking away exclusives, taking away.
I mean, the best way to put it, even their recent actions kind of prove it too. It's like, oh, the CEO took a salary cut and he's going to keep employees' wages so no one gets fired. I'm like, oh, the good guy. No, that's not good guy Nintendo. That's scared Nintendo. They don't want to hire anybody new thinking, oh man, let's just keep the guys we got because we know what to do.
Right, exactly.
And people are like, oh, that's good. No, that's a good guy. That's scared guy. That's scared guy, Nintendo, not good guy. A good guy. I mean, granted, they haven't been a media press now because of that, and they recently gave out Zelda 4 Swords for free. But if they really, really, really want to be a good guy, they would have an open forum for independent gamers or independent developers who come in to make things for their console. That's good guy Nintendo.
I have a 3DS, and I've been trying to see what third-party independent developers have been making for Nintendo, because there are some titles that are just mostly exclusive for their systems.
Yeah,
and it's kind of
RPGs.
You know what, Matt? Going back,
a lot of them is shovelware.
You know what? Going back to what you said, you actually can find out that, but you don't find out the way that you really should be finding out. The way that you actually find out nowadays for Nintendo and the third party is the clusterfuck, the bad press, the news that are coming from companies. They're like, you know what? We wanted to work with Nintendo, but they suck, or we can't work with them, or their system is subpar, or we just don't like them. Basically. Look at all them.
No. Actually, a lot of developers have at least made some kind of a notion, or at least said something that that made it like Nintendo is not very forthcoming when it comes to having independent developers or
they're still stuck on a specific quota.
Yeah,
not exactly. It's like if it's not Nintendo's way, the fuck out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And the problem with that is that's their old thinking. They've been thinking like that, since they came out. Since Super Nintendo, they were phenomenal. And then Nintendo 64 was like, what happened?
Yeah,
and then it got worse. GameCube. Yeah, and it was like, what the hell? What do we have?
Their way of thinking has not. It's not that they have been going slower. It's just the world has been going faster.
Yeah, and there's the general lack of response. It's just like meh.
It's just we as gamers has not been creating Hollywood quality cinematics. Plots like that.
I won't say that because that'll lead us into a whole different topic. You know, I'll just chime in real quick. You know, and it comes. Go ahead.
Check this out. Like a lot of people are trying to say that Nintendo's thinking, like and I even say that too. That Nintendo's ancient. You know, like their way of thinking is ancient. But that's actually not true because back in the 80s and back in the early 90s, their way of thinking was
them on top of the heap. They were the kings.
Exactly. And the reason is because they had third party everything. They had everybody under them. You know, all these.
Yeah, that's true.
Right, but ever since 1996 came, you know, like started with the Nintendo 64, their third party support has been shit. You know.
Now keep in mind, you know, with that also when they were on top of the heap, they only had one main competitor, which was Sega.
No. That was before Sony came in the picture. Yeah, that's what they had with Sega. But they were good when they were against Sega. When Sony came in the picture, they started. They turned to shit.
Because they didn't believe in 3D at all.
No, that's not true.
That's not true because
that's not true. That's not true.
3D. We wanted to experiment with 3D, but we thought it was just going to be a fad.
No, they did experiment with 3D and they took it. They're like the innovator of 3D gaming right now, yo.
I have to agree. Super Mario
64 is the first 3D game.
But the PlayStation was the one who actually embraced the 3D platform.
Right, but you gotta remember when the 3D when the PlayStation was come out, their system was based on 3D.
Right.
They were the first one that did that.
Was basically trying to be 3D, but also polygon sprite based.
That's not it. The reason Nintendo started failing was because Nintendo for years they were fucking iron fist dictators. They had the game on lock pretty much. Their only competitor for years was Sega. So it was either Sega or Nintendo.
And also.
But wait, hold on. And a lot of people went to Sega because Nintendo had very strict policies. They were very expensive to license, you know, to put their for people to put their games on and stuff. They were expensive. They had a lot of strict policies and shit, and they weren't very flexible, and they really didn't give a fuck when it came to third party developers. But being that they were pretty much one of the only two games in town, people had to put their shit on Nintendo. You know what I'm saying, aside from Sega. But then when Sega came in the picture,
Sony.
When Sony came in the picture, Sony changed the game. Sony was like, hey, we'll give you better deals, way better deals than Nintendo. We won't have no strict policy. We won't have policies nowhere near as strict as Nintendo. We'll let you use the PlayStation as your playground. You do whatever, you make whatever games you want on there. You know,
right.
We'll give you
It doesn't hurt that Sony also did what Nintendo doesn't do. They actually invested in American developers.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. Not just that, Matt. Also, another factor was the CD. The
CD format. Yeah.
Right, the CD format. Right. Nintendo was on that bullshit like they always are because they're butthurt over piracy. They're fucking greedy, butthurt over piracy. That's why they use those gay ass cartridges.
And do you know how many companies love the fact that they gave them the ability to use CD and give them more ability to put content, especially music. If you looked at some of the interviews they had, you know, in the past, they loved that because they were like, you know what, we can actually use high fidelity music on these games now.
Right, exactly.
We're not restricted.
And check this out. Look at Square Enix. Square Enix was one of the first people to abandon Nintendo for Sony. You know, they said, nah, we're not going to put Final Fantasy VII on there. Nah.
Not only that, they had problems with the licensing Final Fantasy over there. They had problems with the localization regarding to Nintendo. They weren't getting the best product, but they put up with them because they were...
mainly it was because of the cartridge format. The cartridge format just could not support the type of games that were being made in 95 on up. And Nintendo 64 was just not a system that that you could do it on. Coupled with
like
the
I
way
said, Miyamoto thought 3D was a fad. They thought CD stuff wasn't going to be worth it.
Yeah,
and
people trusted this man's word. And remember, wasn't Miyamoto also? Didn't he also just hated Donkey Kong because it was 3D? And
he didn't hate Donkey Kong. He just didn't like it. He didn't do anything with it.
That doesn't make any sense for Miyamoto to think that. I don't think Miyamoto thought that 3D was a fad. Because he made Super Mario 64
after being Pontius Pilated. After being, I was like, he made Mario 64. He's like, I'll make a 3D game, then whatever. Then 3D became real.
But check this out. But look at the time it came out. Look at how innovative and how amazing it was. If there was just some kind of experiment, it wouldn't have turned out as amazing as it was.
But it wasn't.
It was because they never picked it up fully to use it fully in experiments as compared to other 3D games that came out. Sony took the 3D format and just went haywire and made so many 3D titles.
Well, the reason they did was because they had a whole lot more third-party support. So you got a whole lot of third-party support, third-party developers making these 3D games. Nintendo didn't have that type of
because they absconded
support.
because they didn't thought
3D was
because they didn't have the hardware. It wasn't the hardware. Nintendo at the time still does have they don't have anymore at this time, but they had the strongest in-house power. So yes, they could have produced more 3D games with more potential. They could have even started a reboot process, which is pretty much what they've been doing nowadays.
If Sony was never a competitor,
no,
these third-party companies would have kept pushing Nintendo in order to go with 3D. But Nintendo, being Nintendo,
that's not what happened. Listen, the CD format was the reason Nintendo didn't get the support of these third-party developers like Sony did. It was the CD format coupled with the way Nintendo did business. You know what I'm saying? Had nothing to do with Nintendo not wanting to embrace 3D because Nintendo created 3D gaming. You understand what I'm saying? That's
created
not the case.
Very few 3D games compared. I think that's the point. They did create 3D games, very few. That was the thing.
It doesn't matter if it's very few. The reason it was very few was because they didn't have third-party support. Most of these games was coming from the third-party developers. Like, Nintendo can only make so many games. You understand what I'm saying?
I know that, but the problem is, like, all the 3D games they made, about maybe 4 of them were exceptionally over-the-top good, while, let's see, Sony already out, even without support, they just beat them anyway without it. I mean, at the time, I believe Crash Bandicoot was still owned by Sony? At the time, because I don't think it's owned by Sony anymore, Crash Bandicoot.
They have Tomb Raider.
They don't own it anymore. They're trying to get it back, but they don't own it now.
No,
exactly. Right. They had Tomb Raider, like Sony by itself, without third-party help, had Tomb Raider.
Right.
They had Crash Bandicoot.
No. That was third parties. Tomb Raider was third party.
Tomb Raider was a third party, but it was exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah, because they bought they paid for exclusive rights for that.
Yeah,
I remember the issue back in the day when they were doing that because they were supposed to go to Sega was supposed to get it as well. They did. No.
They didn't have a third party exclusive for Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider was on the Sega Saturn as well.
Later. Much later.
Not much later. Like a year later, it was on there because Tomb Raider came out in '96. The first Tomb Raider came out in '96. Tomb Raider on the Saturn came out in '97. You understand what I'm saying? But the reason it didn't matter was because Sony had the best platform. Like, the Saturn wasn't a good 3D.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Right. And then on top of that, the Nintendo 64, it had the cartridge. You couldn't really do as much as you wanted with the cartridge medium. So PlayStation was the only real good game in town at the time, and Sony was killing it. Sony was doing everything right, and that's why everything happened the way it was. It had nothing to do because Nintendo didn't want to embrace 3D. That wasn't the case. It was because Sony had the better business practices, they had the better ideas, they had the better hardware. Everything they did was just perfect.
Well, let me ask. We keep telling viewers that Nintendo was always stuck in the past, and yet every time they do make a hardware, they always strive for some kind of innovation in regards to control.
They strive innovation in a sense of gimmicks. They don't strike innovation in the sense of the game or the platform itself is powerful or anything. For example, like what is the point? The 3DS, the whole point of it is that now it's 3D, now it's a virtual console. I'm like, didn't the PSP have this at one point? And the Vita has it now. I'm like, technically it's the better handheld, but I'm like, this isn't real innovation. It's more like you're just adding stuff people already did before.
Right. So the whole 3D thing was garbage. Like, for instance, they were really in. I don't consider them innovative with the Wii. I consider them innovative with the Nintendo DS. They were really innovative with the Nintendo DS because that was like touchscreen shit, and the games really used it well. You understand?
Right. Some games used it well, but overall it was still an innovative idea.
Well, I'm talking about a lot of the good.
There
was a lot. Right. There was a lot of good games on the Nintendo DS, and a lot of those games used the touchscreen well. You know, but the Wii, on the other hand, was not innovative. It was a gimmick, like you said, Matt. Like, I agree with you. Nintendo is innovative when it comes to gimmicks. Generally, you know, they're not really about really being innovative with their IPs.
And yet at the same time, Microsoft and Sony went head to head trying to copy them.
Well, they copied them in the sense they realized because the casual market for the Wii grown, and they just did it for the hell of it. But now, do you see like PS Move games popping out of nowhere? Do you see the that was a fad, as you mentioned.
It was a fad, right? It was a fad. It was a money move. That was it. The Wii was a fad, and people ate it up. It was a fad that just happened to be monumentally successful. You understand?
And that's the worst thing about it. It was successful. Then people were like, "Okay, I'm done with this." And then you look at the Wii.
Exactly. Look at, just like Matt said, where's the PlayStation Move games?
Where are the Kinect
PlayStation
games?
Move is dead.
Really?
Right, where's the Kinect games?
So why is Xbox still with the Kinect?
Oh, that's because it's stuck with it. They were designing a peripheral and might as well use it. And they're using it for other things. They've been using it for Skype and those other peripherals they have on the Xbox One. That's why.
Right. But check this out. But the new Kinect doesn't even work that well. You know, it works. It's still very.
I keep hearing like a lot of complaints about that.
Yeah, right, exactly. So So the point is that, okay, Microsoft stuck with it, but Microsoft has the money to stick with it because they think that'll make them money. Nobody cares about. Most people don't care about that motion control bullshit because it was bullshit. It was a good little fad. It was interesting for a quick minute, and then where's the regular controllers at? You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's just a fad.
Here's a perfect example. The thing was like, oh man, when the motion thing came out. And I think like Resident Evil 6 came out, like, oh man, it'll be motion controls. Nope, just QuickTime events. It's a perfect example. Like, no one really wants to do dancing motions. Like Resident Evil 6 is still technically a bad game, but you know.
Yeah, it is. No, Matt, the reason I'm laughing is because you were right. Like you said, Resident Evil 6 they still had the nerve to have QuickTime events in a 2013 game. Like, where the fuck are they coming from?
I know, and the thing is, like I don't feel that motion games are. There's a chance it can do better. It's just that no one's Nintendo is, like I said, they just don't know how to. They're afraid to take chances, and their permanent climate change proves that. This, like I mentioned before, the CEO, I'm taking cut for my wages, keep my employees. No, you're doing that because you're scared. You're afraid that if I have to hire somebody new and think new ideas, I might lose more than keeping these boneheads who do nothing.
All right, guys.
Wait, hold on. Let me say one more thing, and then we'll move on. Another reason Nintendo was able to get away with what they have for so many years is because they have a huge amount of fanboys that will just stick with them no matter what.
They have an enormous legacy.
The legacy is great. I mean, I don't play most of the games anymore, but it's still legit.
All right, but look at the Wii. The Wii U now is just too stupid for anybody to really support like that. You understand what I'm saying?
I know, and I'm like the new Super Mario 3D. I mean, they actually died on Black Friday. I think they sold less than overall a million. They sold less than 100,000 units. I think less.
They didn't sell a lot of Wii U's over Black Friday, and that was supposed to be the time they were supposed to sell the most.
Because they cut it to like $200. You get the new Super Mario game. You get blah blah blah. They give you a new girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
Yo, they had more. I saw more deals for the Wii U than everyone else. I was like, yo, buy a Wii U.
A lot of bundles and stuff.
Yeah, a lot of bundles.
No, they did the right thing. That was what they're supposed to do. They were supposed to have the most deals because there's no reason to buy a Wii U. Like you better give me the biggest incentive to buy it. You better make that shit low. Which
is why I have to say I'm kind of a sucker for that because when I needed to get a Christmas gift from a brother.
The worst part is, Carlos, you could have accidentally bought him a Wii Mini, which is worthless.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, he
wow.
already have a Wii, and it's already kind of worthless. So why should I buy him
Except
more
when you invite
worthless?
us over to play Dokapon Kingdom, then we just all hate you for like the entire day.
But you guys,
I mean,
you guys hate me regardless.
How old is your little brother?
No.
No,
How old is your little brother?
well, let's not get into that. The only reason he wanted to get that is because
No. That's not why I'm asking. That's not why I'm asking. It has nothing to do with Nintendo. Like, is he still a teenager? Is he still in his teens or what?
Yeah, he's a teenager.
Okay, so you could have got him a prostitute instead of a Wii U.
Oh fuck!
That's a
Next,
terrible idea.
come on,
That's
let's
a
go.
terrible idea.
Yeah, because then he would have got laid more than you do.
Oh,
the burn.
See, all right, let's get back on top. Let's go.
Get back on topic.
Yo, Matt, he dissed you.
Wait, he dissed you, man.
No. Matt is still chasing after his waifus. At least he's getting some action, man.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm legit, dude. I'm legit.
Take this off air. Let's finish up. Come on.
Okay, so what's the next?
Well, we got a couple of things we can talk about. We can talk about PlayStation Now. We're just Nintendo's. We can't talk about Nintendo.
No, PlayStation Now. Let's
PlayStation Now.
No, let's talk about a real
I'm sorry,
problem.
is this a reboot?
No, forget PlayStation Now. Eisenberg is Luthor.
As Lex Luthor, I was pissed at that. I'm like, oh, come on.
That's the real problem.
You know what? Guess what, guys? I don't really give a shit. That movie is gonna bomb. Don't care.
Everybody knows that.
But still, like they're making these horrible casting decisions.
They already made horrible casting decisions when they got Ben Affleck. It's over.
Well, you can't handle Ben Affleck car. You get my car, Alfred. My car.
Oh my god.
Nah, dude.
Alfred, get the car. I'm gonna get Alfred.
Get the car.
Batman. No, you know what? I would have liked Mark Wahlberg of Batman if he would have talked just like that.
Man, Mark Wahlberg was Batman. He'd be like, "What are you trying to say? You trying to say I ain't no hero? You say I ain't a hero?
No, I'm a bat peacock. I can fly."
No, tell your mama for me.
Yeah, yo, Patrick. He said, "I'm the one fighting for Gotham City, not you, Alfred. Not you, Morgan Freeman. It's me."
Cause motherfucker, let's motherfucker, I'm gonna take you to jail, Joker. Fuck that shit, motherfucker. You know how Marky Mark talks. Motherfucker, you know.
But anyway, come on, let's do this for
PlayStation Now. Let's talk about.
We don't want to talk about that horrible train wreck that's coming. No, fuck that movie. So.
Which one? Avengers 2, TMNT, or Justice League?
When it comes to Marvel, they have an amazing track record. They can do no wrong at the moment until proven otherwise. TMNT, it's Michael Bay and fucked up character design. No.
We've been through this. Let him finish.
Wait. Okay.
It's his movie. I don't care who did the designs. It's his movie. And it's,
whose movie?
Okay,
don't care.
He's talking about Ninja Turtles. He's talking about Ninja Turtles.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Wait. It gets better. What about Star Wars and the Brazilian spin-off?
Yeah. Oh my God! Do I really want to talk about Star Wars right now? You know that franchise is done. Thank you, Disney. You didn't need to buy this.
Yeah, it's done. Let me tell you this. It's not that it's done. They need to reboot it. They need to start all over. Like
you cannot reboot Star Wars.
Yes, you can. Yes, you fucking can, and that's what they need to
do. Wait. First of all, you know the problem with that is if they reboot Star Wars, you know any of the major cluster F that would happen?
Yes. Yeah. There are the continuity is too large. Too many movies. Too many books. They cannot reboot it. They cannot reboot it.
But listen, where the fuck? But tell me this. Where the fuck can you go with Star Wars? That anybody who has common sense gives a fuck about. I don't give a fuck
That's the whole thing. It should have been left alone. Star Wars is a great legacy. Let it die. Leave it alone.
No. I agree. I don't really care about a new Star Wars film. But what I'm saying in terms of there is going to be a new Star Wars film, whether we like it or not.
Well, here's the problem. They can't reboot it. Right. And the graphic novels have went pretty much exhausted all Star Wars.
Options.
There is nowhere to go.
That's what I'm saying. Okay.
Disney just screwed all of that. Those extended universe, done. Non-canon.
Yeah, done. Yeah, they got rid of that. Yeah.
They got rid of that.
They got rid of that.
So they're gonna explore every option.
See, here's what they think. Here's the problem with that. They said, all right, it's done. They did it. And they said, okay, it's done. But all the fans of that franchise are like, wait, what the fuck is this garbage?
And the worst part about it is that these people stuck with that the entirety of this. I mean, they stuck with the Elder Lawyer by Cameron Travis. That woman is a hack. She
Yo,
has.
so check this
She
out.
is one of the reasons why Gears of War 3 story sucked. She wrote that.
Yeah,
Heads
that
up,
was a bad
internet.
story.
Y'all
It
want to
was.
hate
Yeah, it
someone?
was.
Don't hate Epic Games. Google Karen Kravitz, and you know she wrote garbage Star Wars books and garbage games. Find her and
Matt,
kill her.
Matt, you can blame
we don't support that
wait,
theory. Thank you very much.
Matt, wait up. You can blame Epic Games because they hired her. They should have known
They
how.
hired
They
her
should have known.
thinking she was a talented writer. She confused them with her feminine wiles.
Wait, did she have sex with him at any time? Like, did she?
I don't know.
Did
I
she
have to
rap
research
with
that.
him?
I
But
don't
honestly,
think
all joke aside,
that.
she's a very bad writer. All joke
Okay,
aside,
but check
she's
this
pretty
out.
bad. And I feel that, like, thank God she got she kicked out the Star Wars thing, and Star Wars people stuck with that. So I give them a lot of props for sticking with her and her Mandalorian bullcrap.
And then there was George Lucas.
Okay,
We have to
but
stick
check
with
this
that.
out. Okay,
Yeah.
but back to Star Wars. Let's check this out. Okay, so the fans would be probably pissed if they're idiots, because a lot of the Star Wars fans are idiots. They're big, huge, fucking douche idiots.
Yo, I am gonna tell Brandon that you called him a big douche idiot. I'm gonna let him know that.
Because the reason, because they put up with a lot of shit. Like they a lot of them put up with Phantom Menace. A lot of them put up with Attack of the Clones. A lot of them put up with Revenge of the Sith. Those were 3 terrible movies.
Well,
And
to be honest with you, there,
No,
I agree.
no,
I
no,
hated
no.
those movies. I hated the movies, and I didn't think it made any damn sense why they did that.
Right, they didn't.
Because
But the fans,
Lucas
but the fans,
wanted the money,
but the fan,
and
but
Lucas
wait,
wanted the fame.
But wait, Elf. The fans put up with that shit, and so the best thing for them that can happen for the fans, and the best thing that can happen for Star Wars is a total reboot. Start that shit over, because you can't go anywhere with it. You can't go anywhere with Star Wars because there's nowhere else to go.
There was a way, but they took too long.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
The obvious one was episode 7.
Yeah.
They took too long.
But where could they have gone with it though, Elf?
They could have actually, to be honest with you, they could have did what Peter Jackson does.
It's pretty much Luke restarts the Jedi Order, new shit start coming up, and the main characters are Leia and Han Solo's children.
Yeah,
That's the novels did that. The technically the novels did that already.
Yeah.
And the problem is that they should just do it. They're going to make a new Star Wars movie. Just do what Peter Jackson does. Take the best of certain novels and turn it into a movie. And
The problem is J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams fired a guy, a writer, for doing just that, suggesting we should just follow the novels. No, screw that. I want the son of Luke Skywalker, and he's going to be that weird dude from Breaking Bad.
Okay, you know what, Elf? I'll take that, and I'll say, you know what, fine, because not everybody read the graphic novels. Okay, they could do that, but they're not going to do that.
And that's the thing, is like the easy answer is right in front of you, because I'm not saying all the novels are great. I mean, I vented my rage on Karen Travis, but there are good parts in each people. You could just use that and make a good movie. The work has been done for you. Stop trying to be a freaking smartass about it, Abrams. The work was done for you.
No, listen, check this out. Abrams is really fucking up, because Star Trek Into Darkness was garbage.
Yeah. Are you really care about anything he does after that movie?
Huh?
Or does anybody even care what Abrams does after that last Star Trek movie? Seriously?
I don't care.
I
don't care. First of all, that's not the first whack movie he did, because Super 8 was whack. That was a whack movie.
Don't mention that again. You're not allowed to talk about that.
No. I just wanted to just make it known again that
we're done.
he doesn't
We're done
have
with
anything.
that. Moving on.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So my point is that, okay, Star Wars has nothing else going for it. They need to reboot it. That's all they could do.
I don't think they could reboot it, just because of how long it's been standing.
No, but wait. Disney has it. They can reboot it, but if they reboot it, there'll be a lot of different shit happen. There'll be a new story.
There will be no Luke Skywalker. Darth Vader will never existed. Watch.
No. There could be a Luke Skywalker in the dark, but they can change the story. They can change of how.
I don't know.
Happens.
If they reboot it, it'd be like it would feel like they're doing a remake more than a reboot. That's the way it's gonna look like.
Trust me. You know how you feel about the RoboCop movie?
Yeah.
Yes, I love that movie. This is one of the greatest films ever made.
No, I mean the RoboCop movie. The one that's coming out.
The new one. Yeah, it's garbage. It's shit. It's shit.
Well, there you
bullshit.
go.
Yeah.
There's your answer.
That's exactly what would happen.
Okay, but the thing is, but the reason I'm saying a remake is because Star Wars movie, the first Star Wars movie was made in the 70s, man. Like, it's time for the well is run dry is what I'm saying. It's time to start over. And
you
that's
do
what
realize,
I'm saying. Like,
Nev has a point, because when in the 70s, it was just haphazard. They just went with whatever.
Right.
Is when they started actually listening to George Lucas's ideas. That's when shit went under.
Right.
You know, be a good idea. How about let's just not do a remake or a continuation. How about we just do the real thing? Do a prequel before Star Wars, and not that episode 1 through 3 crap.
No,
a real.
You know what? I'm all for. You know what?
No more prequels.
No more prequels. You can't do that.
Not the Anakin prequel crap. A real good prequel. You know, like Knights of the Old Republic.
Listen, I don't want to know anything about the Knights of the Old Republic. I want to know about the Force. I want to know about.
That's what the Knights of the Old Republic was about. If you play Knights of the Republic games, right?
No, but what I'm saying is that I don't want to go back in time. I want to go forward. I want the story to start over, have a new story, have new events that happens, and just keep going forward.
Why don't you guys ever follow the novels? The novels already did that for them.
No, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't even want a new Star Wars film. I don't want them to make a new Star Wars film.
Thank you. Again. You know what? Like I said, we don't need that. You know, I'm perfectly fine for Disney taking the Star Wars license, making new cartoons, selling a shit ton of merchandise. Fine, do that, but do not touch the movies, especially the original 3. Don't touch the continuity. Don't change the lore. Don't do anything. Just leave it alone.
No, Hacks. I got one thing. If they are gonna touch the movies, give us an HD remaster of the original 3 Star Wars films, untouched, George Lucasized. Like, I don't want, give us the original.
Yeah, Han did shoot first, and that's not cool.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, do not give us no CGI shit like give us the original how they look when they came out. Give us the HD remasters of that. That's it. That's all I care about.
Yet, if they do that, they're going to be, people are going to look at them and say, you got nothing else to do but just release old Star Wars films.
Hey,
first of all, that is the Disney plan, Carlos. I know what you're talking about, dude. That is the Disney plan. Re-release old stuff.
That's what Skywalker's been doing for fucking 30 years. So
yeah, I know.
Lucas.
So, come on, man.
But that doesn't mean Disney has to do it.
No, listen. If Disney's gonna touch the movies, I'm just saying that's the only thing that I would accept that they do.
Come on, guys. Let's be real. The only reason that Disney bought this is so they can have another princess to their lineup.
That's true. Yeah. That's true.
That's the bottom line.
Because Stone Cold said so.
That's true.
Stone Cold said so.
Though I can't front. Princess Leia is probably would be the best princess up there, you know.
All right, so. What do we want to talk about next?
We
got a couple more topics to get.
Now let's kind of get that over with.
Yeah.
Well, let's just talk about it. I mean, guys.
So Matt, PlayStation Now, is that going to be the soft reboot to PlayStation? Is everything going to be more like the movies now?
No, it's gonna be. It's gonna remind you what PlayStation used to be, but it's still not PlayStation.
Elf, you ass. I don't think they caught that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like Apocalypse Now. You know, more like that.
Oh, it's gonna be like that. Okay.
Yeah. No, come on. Let's be real, guys. I think it's actually a good service. You know, they.
No. I
remind us again. What is this service? Because I totally forgot.
Okay, the service is pretty much PS4. You know, you'll have streaming of PS3 games, PS2 games, PS1 games, pretty much games from the entire PlayStation catalog. You'll be able to play it through, say, your PS4, your tablet, your computer. You know, that's the basic idea.
All right,
you know,
but
it's a streaming service. It's a streaming service for a subscription. It's a subscription fee.
It's a subscription base. Yeah, like Netflix.
The only thing is, will the quality be better for? Like, there are people who make money off streaming. Would it be worth it for them to invest in this, or just do the format they've been doing?
No. Like it's not. No. It's not like that. It's not like that. Basically, back in 2012, I don't know if you guys remember, there were 2 streaming services for allowing you to play games via stream. It was OnLive, and then there was Genkai. Genkai was purchased by Sony, and basically their thought was, they're going to have a PlayStation Cloud. But they sat on the technology for like almost 2 years and didn't talk about it or anything until recently with CES 2014 they came out and was like, hey, it's PlayStation Now, it's Genkai, this is what we're doing. And basically what the technology allows you to do is it allows you to play PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3 titles that can be streamed to Vitas, brand new Sony Bravada TVs, PlayStation 3s. I think this is also PlayStation 4, tablets, and phones.
Right.
And they
What's the catch?
There is no catch so far. They've demonstrated this actually running off of a Bravada TV. A couple sites like The Verge and somebody else had videos of it where they actually were playing God of War with little lag, very little lag, and you got this. This was streaming from another from their cloud, so to speak, somewhere miles far away. And they were streaming God of War 3, playing it on a Bravada TV with no PlayStation hardware whatsoever. And it was running pretty good. The guy they were playing said it was very responsive. There was no issues. Go ahead. Go ahead, Neff.
They had a controller though, a PlayStation. They had a
they were playing for the controller, but other than that, there was no PlayStation around.
No PlayStation. That's fantastic.
Now hold up. Alongside the PlayStation Plus subscription that you have to do online.
No, this is another. This will be another optional service. It's not a mandatory. You don't need to have this. This is for people who want to play older content on like their PlayStation 3 and 4.
In order to play that content, you will need to be as part of the subscription, or is this a separate subscription?
They stated that this is a separate subscription. You do not need to have this. This will be a separate subscription. You won't need PlayStation now.
The thing I'm worried about is like,
service.
Why are you offering this me as a service where you could just update your console so they could be apping normally? I feel this is kind of one of those you're holding something behind your hand trick.
Well, you gotta remember, if you want to do full blown emulation, you have to incorporate the hardware or work around emulation around your current hardware so it is possible.
But Hacks, there's a rumor.
Right.
There's a rumor that Sony will add PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 2 emulation. I think it can play PlayStation 1 games, right? PS4.
There's a rumor saying that PlayStation 4 will be able to emulate PlayStation 1 and 2 games. However, there hasn't been any solid information from that.
No, it's a rumor.
So
I would rather them do that than say. I would rather them do that than say have a PlayStation Now service.
Because I think, like I said, if they could do that, they're holding something behind their back. They're charging you for something that they would probably can do for free. And I feel that's kind of scumbaggery because it's like you're pretty much charging me for almost backwards compatibility, and I feel that's kind of scumbag.
Okay, but check this out, man.
So aren't they already doing that with their PlayStation
Network? Yeah,
they're charging you for games that you already haven't played.
No, well.
How is that one and the same?
But check this out. If they do PlayStation Now, it's different because PlayStation Now hopefully will have all of the games that from every generation from PlayStation 1.
They're not going to have all of the games. They're going to lose out some licenses.
No, but I'm saying that I'm talking about that's the idea though. Is what I'm saying. That's the idea is to have all the catalogs from every PlayStation generation, 1 through 3, at a service right at the palm of your hands. Like you can play anything you want.
I understand that. But they already have that with PlayStation Network. Here's why.
Not really.
No, they don't. You don't have access to those games.
Example. I have Dynasty Warriors 4. I can play that on my PlayStation 2. Can't play that on my PlayStation 3. I have to buy that from Sony.
But you're missing out what this actually means. The whole thing with the PlayStation Now isn't the fact that you can play your old content on your PlayStation. The point of PlayStation Now is you can rent games, stream games, play them across a wide variety of platforms now.
Right. It's pretty. I feel though, like to me, it's like I guess I feel maybe a little towards Carlos, but it's like I feel because I have Steam and technically isn't Steam doing that? There's Steam boxes coming
Everybody's doing that. Steam is doing it. Nvidia's already doing it. Online's been doing it for years. Even though they got purchased and taken apart and whatever happened on live. Everybody is doing it now because everybody wants to stream. And, it's going to get to the point, or it is at the point, depending on how you look at it, where people won't need the console to get the games. Again, what Sony's doing with the Bravada, I can stream PlayStation 3 and 4 or PlayStation content to a TV, and all you need to do is buy a controller.
Wait, Hacks, were they talking about putting PS4 games on the PlayStation? Now I thought it was just PlayStation 1 through 3.
1, 2, and 3. That's why I stopped for a second. 1, 2, and 3.
The thing is, I want to ask about the streaming is that is there a limited library you have, or you have to pay for more games
you
to
know
put on the
it's gonna
stream
be a
No,
service?
no, no, no. It would be like it would be like Netflix. It would be like a Netflix X service, like
Right.
Okay.
where you have like pretty much PlayStation 1 through 3. You would have pretty much the idea is that you would have all the games from that system, from all those systems at the palm of your hands. You can play them like Hack said on a variety of platforms. You can play them on your smartphone, your Vita. You can play if you're not home, you can or your tablet, whatever. If you're home, you can play them on your Vita. You can play them on like everything.
Realistically
so that's
speaking,
the
based
idea.
on other stream services. Based on other stream services, the library will start small at first, but over the week, it's going to.
And my
only
only beef with that will be, it's like, then why would I need to play for PlayStation Gold if I could just play for PlayStation Now and get the games I want anyway?
Well, that's the point. You won't need to have. If you play games online, you'll need the PlayStation Plus. But if you just want to play a whole bunch of different games by yourself, then you got PlayStation 1 through 3 library at the palm of your hand. That's the idea,
Yeah, with the PlayStation Now. Go ahead, finish up.
So it's not like they're making you. It's not like it's mandatory. Like you have these options, And I think that is good.
Both at the same time.
That's exactly. You should have that combo. I pay for that.
Well, hopefully they would have a combo type of package with that. I'm sure that knowing Sony, they would have it where they have like a subscription service that includes PlayStation.
I would feel it's more convenient.
Wait, hold on. I'm sure that Sony would have like a package. Knowing Sony, they would have a package that includes PlayStation Plus subscription as well to the PlayStation Now. I mean, that would obviously make sense.
That would be the best of both. To me, I would pay for it.
Right. So let's say that knowing Sony, the PlayStation subscription thing will probably be like, say what? If we go by yearly, it'll probably be like what, $100 a year or something like that.
Well,
that's a bit high. I mean,
I hate to speculate that. I hate to speculate that just because it could be cheaper. We don't know because again, it's not a mandatory service. It's optional. It's for those who want to have this. So
at the same time, it feels like as an option, it does offer some features that Gold doesn't really extend to.
Well, that's the thing. They're two P's. They're two different things here. You don't need to have, for what they said, you don't need to have PlayStation, Live or PlayStation Plus to use this.
Right. And the problem is that you don't need it to do it. At the same time, Now is there's a couple of things that Gold offers and Now offers that seems very strong. Like Gold can give you discounts off games, free games. I mean, like right now, I think you get Payday 2.
Free games, quote unquote, free as in renting.
Actually,
as long as you have Gold.
Once you save your hard drive and you still have PlayStation Gold, you can still get it.
But Matt, a lot of the games on PlayStation Plus are current games. Like this is something that PlayStation 4 is now the current system.
Exactly.
And on
Because
I
feel like PlayStation Now will probably have a library, maybe say from PS1 to maybe like halfway to PS3. Because if they go a little further than that, then it will probably be maybe even superior to PlayStation Plus. Because
I don't think so, because you gotta think about this as a business decision. I wouldn't do that. If I was running this, I wouldn't give you everything that you can get on PlayStation Now from PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. I would purposely gimp you to make you decide. I wouldn't let you play online with PlayStation Now. I wouldn't let you get free games with PlayStation 9. No company in the right mind is going to do that. No company.
Right. And check this out. Check this out. The difference with PlayStation Plus is that, PlayStation Plus is
it's a standard online subscription. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So, and then on top of that, the games aren't definite. And then on top of that, you have a small amount of games that, cycle. If you came with PlayStation Plus at a certain time, you'll get these games. But like I came with PlayStation Plus, beginning of January, so I don't have access to games that was offered on PlayStation Plus, like say early in 2003 or something like that.
Right.
So the PlayStation Plus is on its own. Say you don't want the PlayStation Now, on its own, PlayStation Plus is damn good because you get a small selection of games that you have access to for free. If you pay for the subscription.
Right, and discounts.
Right, and discounts, exactly. PlayStation Now is a back catalog service. You know,
right.
it's a back catalog service of PlayStation 1 through 3 era games, and you don't have any limit. Like you may not be able to play online, but you'll be able to play them wherever you want. You understand what I'm saying? You play.
It's
you
still
have
fair. I mean, it's still fair.
Yeah, now hold up. With this library, you only pay the subscription for the service, not exactly for each individual title like you do.
No. That would just strip out your pocket.
Like I said, Elf, it's like Netflix. It'll be like Netflix. You know,
I think a bit as a retro gamer, that would be a little more better than PlayStation Plus. Because
Hold on, guys.
I took a look.
Hold on. Now, keep in mind. Now, they did say they were going to offer PlayStation 1, 2 games. Now, they did go off stating that the first games they're going to be offering is for PlayStation 3. They're going to offer PlayStation 3 titles. So, from what I'm understanding from this system, and this could be what they're trying to do, is maybe even though they know eventually they're going to phase out the PlayStation 3, they don't want to stop people titles.
Right.
Who's going to buy a brand new PlayStation 3?
No. Except for tournament organizers.
Yeah, nobody's really going to try it. But at the same time, you know, having that service would allow you to catch up on titles that you never played before while you have PlayStation.
Right.
Exactly.
Without and if you have a bravado without buying the PlayStation itself.
Right. It's a like we said, it's a back catalog service. You know, like it's you know. In
Here's
terms of
the
the
problem
idea,
I always have with PlayStation Network. Compared to Xbox 360, where there are games that I'm curious about and I want to try, there are no demos, and the prices doesn't really justify a trial basis. Well,
that's not true.
Xbox,
that's not true at all.
I can find a demo for everything. I can find a demo for freaking.
No, you can get demos on Play. You can get trials on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, that you have time trials on PlayStation Plus. I mean, there's
trials, but that's very limited compared to the unlimited demos.
No, it's not. With the time trials, you get the full game, and you have a certain amount of time to play it.
Yeah. The one thing I hate about Xbox, you know, I'm glad they offer you the demo, but on the real, how many times are you going to play that demo till you get to the point like maybe I should buy the game, or no, I'm not going to buy it.
And check this out, Elf. With Xbox 360. Aren't some of the demos still timed? Like if you have Xbox Gold, you can't play certain demos that come out right.
The current problem I have with Microsoft right now is that with their new cloud service, if you don't continue paying for Gold and you put your games in your cloud service, you lost those games.
What?
Wait, say it again, Matt.
My current problem with Xbox Gold, Xbox Live right now is that say they have a cloud service now, right?
Yeah. And you have the games on the cloud.
Yeah. If you do not pay Xbox Gold for a month or whatever, those games you have on cloud are gone because you don't have access to them. So they're pretty much holding your games for ransom if you save it to the cloud.
No. You can only save your game saves. You can't. Your game itself is not stuck in the cloud.
That still sucks, though. Can you imagine? That still sucks. That pisses me off. It's like.
That's
like,
no,
man, I get to be this game.
Matt. No. You'll still have access to the cloud to take your saves off of the cloud and put them on your
right. That's
where you don't have access is to put games into the cloud.
That's fine. That's fine. You still have your local content.
None of your saves will be lost or anything like that. You'll still have your saves. You just take them off the cloud. That's it.
Also,
you won't be able to put them back on the cloud.
Nobody uses the cloud as a serious game save.
I sure do.
No, listen. I haven't had Xbox Gold for about 2 years now. But back when I did, I used the cloud. That was my game save place.
Nah, for me, I just use that for rentals. Everything else I put on my hard drive or my main drive.
No, here's my philosophy. They have a lot more money and a lot more hardware to make sure they have redundant backups than your system does. So if your shit takes a crapper, you're SOL. If your game saves take a crap on their service, they have a backup of the backup that backs up that backup.
Right, exactly. And I loved it. I love the cloud. I love using the cloud for game save. That's fantastic. I don't, however, like Sony's cloud service in terms of how because if you have PlayStation Plus, you're able to save you're able to put your saves on the cloud as well. But it doesn't work as well as Microsoft's work because you can't load your saves from the cloud. for your PlayStation 3 games. That sucks. That doesn't because that like why am I putting?
That's not a cloud service. That's just storage.
Exactly. Well, that's why I think I think that's what I started with PlayStation Now. We get back to full cycle because like they're gonna start getting better cloud service for that. I don't know. I have no idea if PlayStation 4 has cloud because I don't own that. Does anybody on the PS4 to see if it has cloud? Or?
Yeah, everybody. As long as you have PlayStation Plus, you have cloud storage.
All right, we're good to go. All right.
Yeah, and that's it.
And to be fair on Sony, because I do admit Microsoft has the superior online service. Sony is catching up, and they have changed up a lot of things, from the last couple of years where their shit was just garbage. They've caught up pretty good.
The cross-play and cross-save thing is like brilliant. I own it as a Vita owner. That's so brilliant.
Yep.
Yeah, that is great. I mean, Sony to me, Sony's online service is
getting there.
No, actually, it's pretty much there in terms of just online play, like playing your online games.
Right.
It's there, but like all Microsoft really has over them is that whole party chat thing, and they have a better cloud service with the game saves and stuff. But in terms of just online
general convenience,
I think PlayStation Plus is a better service.
Yeah, for just games, Microsoft has the whole package, which is what I like.
Nah, Microsoft. Listen, Microsoft's whole thing trying to give you games like PlayStation Plus does, it's lame.
I'm not even worried about that because I don't think it's lame because anytime you give me something for free,
I'm not
it's
saying
awesome.
I'm not saying that.
It's awesome.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying that. Wait, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the game the games that they give you are pretty lame. Like the only good game I've seen so far was Sleeping Dogs. That they've given you.
Oh, I mean Microsoft Gold. Yeah, it's crap.
Yeah, it's Microsoft Gold right now is garbage. It's garbage. Like,
I mean, they gave me. I mean, who really wants to play Lara Croft Lara Croft, Dead Rising 2? Like, you know how old that is?
You know what though? You guys just don't get the whole picture of that one. The game might be garbage to me or you, but to somebody else that might like it. Perfect example. I have two different Xbox Gold accounts. One for my kids and one for myself. They're downloading those games that they can play for free, and you know what? That's games they can play. I ain't gotta fucking pay for it.
Look, man,
you guys. I hear that. But let's talk about guys that are like us, hacks. Like if we're talking about
they're getting better. They have a shit. I mean, they gave you Halo. They're giving you Dead Island this month.
Assassin's
Creed
something
2. Else. They're getting there. PlayStation Plus didn't start off for the night as well.
But dude, but it's like this is something Microsoft should have been doing though. They shouldn't have just started doing it because Sony's doing it now. So okay.
No, they're doing it to entice people into buying an Xbox.
No. I mean that's obvious. That's obvious. But
because they're doing it. No, they're doing it because Sony's doing it, and it's just it's back and forth.
But that's the
Microsoft
problem.
had Xbox
Sony's
Live.
Not doing it. They're not giving you free games. They give you rental games.
But they are. See, that's the thing. Here, that's exactly it. They're giving you game. No, Sony's giving you the game, but you can't keep it. Microsoft is doing.
I don't know
that's not the point though. That's not my point. My point is that here's Microsoft, right? They're offering. They're trying to play catch up with Sony in terms of the type of games they're offering, because that's what I'm talking about.
They're not playing catch up because if you're considering the offering and online services, they're still killing Sony.
They're killing Sony because more people, because Xbox Live is pretty much more synonymous with online gaming. You understand what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But it's not like it's a better service though. It's not. It's actually a worse service. First of all, it's more. It's $60. Like the general price for it, $60 more. And Sony gives you Sony has $50. It gives you a better value, is what I'm saying.
Who the fuck pays that for Xbox Live? Who pays that?
Wait, how much is it for a year? Is it $49.99?
It's $60. $60. Microsoft online Xbox Gold is $60.
No, it isn't.
Nah, it's $60.
Let me check.
It's not.
No,
it's okay. All right, here's my take on this. Here we go.
Okay.
Xbox Live Gold is $60 a month.
Right.
If you're a fucking retard. Sorry, retards.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. Listen, let me finish. It's $60 a month if you're a retard.
It's $60 a year.
No, okay, it's $60 a year if you're a retard. Okay, check it out. Anybody in their right freaking mind in this day and age that pays straight out for a service that they know they can get cheaper.
Most people do. That's the thing. Most of the gamers that's playing it They buy the shit $60. A lot of people put that shit on their card. That's what I'm saying.
No, and a lot of people nowadays
people can just go get a 3-month subscription for maybe only $12.
Or they buy a year subscription from Amazon or Newegg and pay way less than that.
Some people do that, but not a lot of people get those deals, man. That's what I'm saying. That's a fact.
Yo, you can get those deals at your local supermarket, man. I just get 3 months for $24.
Hank would sell you for like a year for like $40.
Yeah, people. It's
but Matt, who goes to Hank? Not your average.
All the Flatbush goes to Hank.
All the Flatbush, all of us.
But all the Flatbush. But y'all are serious gamers. A lot of the serious gamers goes to Hank, and they're the guys in the know. But your average person that buys Xbox Live,
the average person,
they don't get to do. Your average, I'm saying the average game, like you say, your casual game or your average gamer.
The parents are everybody is more casual than the parents, man.
Hey Neff, check it out real quick. Hey Neff, real quick. Hey guys, real quick. Okay, I agree with you. It's for those who are in the know, but most people know. For example, did anybody know that Newegg sells their 12-month subscription for $40 all year round now?
I didn't know that. Yep. I didn't know that.
That shit is constantly out of stock.
Good. Well, see, it's constantly out of stock. So when are you gonna get it? You understand what I'm saying? Like, but the point I'm making is that a lot of people buy the shit $60, and I'm saying that it's not as good a deal.
I think it is. I think it is a good deal for what they give you. Okay, from what they have given you in the past.
What does Microsoft Go give you? What do they give you?
An entire library of fun games that you can try out.
I'm talking about. No, not even entire library. No. They don't have library games you can try out. Not on Xbox Gold.
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Xbox,
they do.
Xbox Gold,
Yes, they do. Yes.
They do.
They do.
I have that shit, man. I have that.
What are you talking about?
They do.
What are you talking about? Tell me what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
They have an entire library of old and new games that you can try out, either from Xbox Live or even demos from the premium games they're trying to sell. You can buy a $39.99 game straight up, or you can try that shit before you can buy it. Sony does not give you that.
Sony does it now. They do it now.
No.
Before.
Are you talking about a time trial? Like they give you a
they do not give you a time trial. They give you.
So what are you talking about?
When you go on XBO and you can go click any game, arcade, whatever. There's actually a little button that says "Try me." That's a download. That's there forever. That's what Paul's is talking about.
You can upgrade immediately.
You mean the trial? That's a trial. That's like a demo. That's what you're talking about.
Exactly. Sony does not even offer that at once.
Yes, they do. That's called. Yes, they do.
It's called PlayStation Plus. It's called paying $60.
No. You are not on PlayStation 3. You're not on PlayStation Plus telling me that, man. Because they don't have to. They have demos and they have time trials of games.
Sony does not of very limited titles. Very limited.
Okay, yeah, it's limited, but they have all. But as far as
they don't have that many demos as compared to Xbox.
That's true.
Okay,
also,
that's true.
Some games that I want to get. Oh, hey, there's a PlayStation 1 title. I want to see what it's about. Oh, no videos, no reviews.
Then you got a point there. That shit is limited as all hell.
Basically, you gotta know what the hell you're buying. For Sony, you gotta be in the know to know what you're buying. They don't.
No, I agree. But as far as like Xbox is not as good to me a service when it comes to games. Like when it comes to like buying games on the Xbox Live, it's not as good as Sony's.
Now, if you don't have kids, I will tell you that right now. Yeah. For me, from why I look at it, when my son can go in the front room and look at every demo that he wants to play, or go to the music and try out the music trials, or go to the videos to try out the video trials.
Dude, a lot of those demos suck. Dude, a lot of
that doesn't make a difference. They're available.
It doesn't make a difference. It gives you an informed decision on what to buy.
Okay, but still, it's like. Demos I'm not against demos, but I'm just saying that's not.
Would just buy something straight up.
No, I agree, but I'm just saying. I'm not saying demos are bad. I'm just saying it's just whatever, Like I don't think that's
And we're done.
Okay. Next. Hey, real quick. I haven't thought about this for a while, but hey, what have you guys been watching anime-wise recently?
Man,
what have you guys been checking out?
I don't watch
only 3 shows:
What's that?
Kill,
Yep.
Samurai Flamenco, and Silver Spoon.
I don't watch anime as much anymore. I just read manga, so I don't hardly watch anything because I can't get on the anime grind. But I have enough time to just read manga on my commute to work, so that's what I do.
Yeah, well, he's a real salaryman, you know.
Yeah, I'm a real salaryman. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're the lifeblood of the game industry, man.
I am at this point.
Yeah, salaryman.
Yo, but me, as far as anime, I haven't been watching anything new except like Kill la Kill, like a little bit of Kill la Kill. But I kind of took it back because I've been watching the Japanese Sailor Moon. I've been watching that lately.
Reboot's coming up soon.
Yeah.
And don't you forget, dude, Space Dandy.
I haven't watched Space Dandy yet. I haven't watched Space Dandy yet.
Hacks, I'm ready to do my review. It's been 5 episodes. That shit has just been getting better and better.
Knock it out.
Though I feel it's pretty cliched, but it's done well.
And the problem is, here's internet's problem with Space Dandy. They expected more Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, sorry.
Shampoo.
It's not those titles.
It's not that at all. That just because Shiro Watanabe name on it doesn't mean it's going to be the same thing all over again.
No, and not even just that. It's been 10 years since Samurai Champloo. Like.
Let him do something else.
Huh?
Let him do something else.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like people are expecting it to be like Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo, and it's like it's been a decade since their last project like that, you know.
Wait, what's their last project? What was it? That thing about the jazz club. What was it? The piano on the street, piano on the walk.
Well,
what?
There was that anime about.
Maybe I overlooked one of their projects, but I'm just saying it's like they shouldn't expect it to be like Cowboy Bebop or Samurai Champloo.
It's not their fault because Toonami has been marketing like that.
Right. It's not. I mean, I'm not right. I'm just saying it's just not like the audience shouldn't be expecting that. Like they should be expecting something new and something to stand on its own because it's not like it's a sequel to anything. You know what I'm saying?
It does have some spiritual elements from Bebop and Champloo, as it focuses on the music and style. Bebop was jazz and noir. Champloo was hip hop and stylistic action. This one is, I guess, funk.
Yeah, funk.
Yeah, funk
and soul.
And funk and comedy, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't been seeing that. The only thing I've been seeing out of Space Dandy is over the top comedy. That's it.
Yeah, that's what it is, and it doesn't have a strict continuity, so you can watch any episode. And just get into it.
You take it from the first one, they blew themselves up, and the second one's like, "Hey, wait, didn't you just blow yourself up last episode?"
No, we good. It's just one of a timed anime that I guess is a little ahead of its time because people, oh my continuity.
I just hope people appreciate this.
I think they will slowly.
I will say one thing. One thing I'll always regret them not making was a Samurai Champloo film. Like I'll regret them.
You say film or
no? Well, like an anime movie.
Feature.
Movie of, a feature.
Oh, like what they did with
right, with Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. I would have loved for them to have done that with Samurai Champloo because Samurai Champloo deserved it.
Wasn't Samurai Champloo not doing that well in the ratings in Japan?
Well, it was doing fantastic over here, but I don't think it. Well, Cowboy Bebop didn't do well with the ratings like that. But the reason they
climbed up because of America.
Right. And the reason they made the movie was because of America. That's the reason they made the movie because it got so big in America. You know, that's why they made the movie.
Well, it didn't help that Samurai Champloo came out during the anime recession over in America.
Right, exactly. To 2004, exactly. So yeah, it came out I think it came here out in 2005. Yeah, it came in America 2005 because it came out in 2004 in Japan. But yeah, it was this anime recession. That's when it came out. Yep.
Yeah, but I feel there's a lot of most of the animes that came out during the anime recession were really good. Like
they were.
Eureka 7 was amazing. That's phenomenal.
Yeah. Another thing, another good favorite of mine was wait, what year was that? Eureka 7 came out like 2005, right?
Yeah, Eureka 7.
Yeah. Eureka 7 was my shit. I love that.
Yeah, Johnny really earned his money that day.
Oh yeah. What about the new Eureka 7? You like that one?
Huh?
You like the new Eureka 7?
I haven't seen AO yet. I want to, but I haven't.
I don't like
with the
it.
film? What, they have a new film?
No, they have
It's a new series, AO.
Yeah.
Which is
Word?
I heard it just became too anime.
Yeah. I heard about it. Right. I did hear about
Honestly,
it.
I tried getting into Eureka
Yeah.
7. I didn't last like past the first season because I don't know. I just couldn't get into it for some reason.
Well, so what the fuck is it about? Does it pick up off?
It just picks up. Reka and Renton's kid is out to save the world with some other broad.
Oh God, that's so fucking. Now that's cliche.
That's cliche.
That's cliche. Space Dandy is not cliche. That's cliche.
Yeah.
They actually had a kid together.
Yep.
Yeah, we know they had a kid together. We didn't want to find out what happened else. Listen, I liked Eureka 7 the way it was. It started, it ended. That was the story. I didn't want to see what happened after that. I didn't want to see Ritten's. I wasn't saying to myself, wow, the Eureka 7 is over. Wow, I want to see what happened with Ritten and Eureka and their kid. Like I didn't care about that. That's not something that ever came up.
No, to me it's an okay spiritual sequel, but I heard like it's meh because it's like I said, it's one of those things that's hard to live up to, which that's a lot of problem with people like it could have
because the main part is they'll be doing the same shit that from the first series.
And a lot of the characters that were in the original series are not there. Holland's not there, so.
But you'll have new characters that are analogous to the to the old characters. Like a lot of the same shit is gonna happen, like because it's the same universe. LFOs are still because it's still about LFOs, right? As far as like the mechs, right?
Yeah. Like I said, I haven't seen most of it. Hack's seen it. Yeah. I'm more
I didn't care too much for it.
You didn't care.
I mean, Hacks is still LFOs. Like mechs is still a mech anime, right?
Yeah, I would have said that. So.
It is, but it's a lot of other elements that makes me not care too much about it.
Like I said, I'm gonna check it out eventually. I'm probably gonna check it out when it gets. I know it's recently dubbed. I think who was it? I think Mika Solstead is the voice of the main character, and people don't know who he is. He's the voice of Soul, and he also was in Wolf's Children. He played the hacker kid in Wolf Children's, not Wolf Children, Summer Wars. Yeah.
Summer Wars.
Yo, speaking of Wolf Children, that is my shit.
Wolf Children, I heard that's amazing.
I love that movie.
I gotta watch that.
That is a fantastic movie. My children love it.
I would never thought a show about agriculture and farming would be that enjoyable, but
you know what? But it is so fulfilling. It is it's a film about humanity, about struggle, about life, and it's a really good movie.
Right. Speaking of anime, guess what's on Netflix?
It's not what I thought you were going to say, but okay, go ahead. What's on Netflix?
Attack on Titan.
Really?
Dude, Attack on Titan is making money.
Really? Yeah, they need to give me my second season so I can find out why the fuck there's Titans in the wall.
Right, exactly. But it's on Netflix streaming, so you can if you got a Netflix account, you can watch it on your devices or just sit at home and watch it. But it's on streaming. I think it's been there for about like a week or two or something like that, and it's fantastic. I love that. I mean, and that was pretty quick for it to come.
That thing is doing like gangbusters. Everybody loves Attack on Titan.
It's amazing because it's an amazing fucking show. I mean, I can't wait for a second season. Another series that I'm waiting for a second season is that's in kind of like that same apocalyptic vein as the High School of the Dead. Like I'm waiting for a second season of that.
There's no second season. They asked. They said no. It's done.
We're done. No, that was
no. The guy who does the manga, he takes a lot of fucking hiatuses, and we're not gonna know. The only reason it hasn't.
Well, the manga may keep going, but I don't know.
No. Listen. The manga is not currently ongoing because the guy who does it takes a lot of hiatuses, and so there's not enough material to make a second season of the anime. So that's what's going on. He takes a lot of extended hiatus.
They had announced that shit like back in 2012 and said it was supposed to be out at the end of 2012.
But the guy that does the manga, he he just takes these hiatuses. I don't know. They probably said it, but it just didn't pan out like that. You know too, Matt. You know this. You know the guy that does High School.
The guy that does High School did. Yeah. I haven't kept up with him because he takes so much hiatus. At this point, IDF man.
Yeah.
IDF. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like he's like, man, what am I gonna? You know what I think he's doing? Every hiatus he's taking, he's just going to the comic book store, buying The Walking Dead, and trying to animate that and to put it into his book.
Wait. You mean he's trying to copy the crew from Evil? Evil. I can't even talk. Evangelion Q, and not make that movie come out like forever.
Oh, you mean the Evangelion manga that took like 2 years to make?
No, I'm talking about the movie. I'm talking about the fucking movie.
Oh, that. No, that's just them trying to build up hype. I'm talking about the manga, which is still ongoing.
I thought that shit was over.
They just recently finished it, right? The Evangelion manga. It's been out for like since the 90s, right?
Yeah. Recently finished it.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All right. Well, the reason why I asked about anime, other than the fact that Kill la Kill is my shit, that and Log Horizon.
Kill la Kill is
a lot of people are ragging on that show, and
why?
I'm like,
for what?
I don't know, because they're idiots. But that show is phenomenal. That's one of the best shows.
What's it called? They were expecting Tenken Toppa Gurren Lagann girls. They got that, but also a cartoony comedy.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people. That's a lot of the things that they're ragging about. That it's very cartoonish, like a lot of the gags and a lot
cartoons on my anime.
Right, exactly.
But that's the whole thing about the show is that it makes it work. It goes hand in hand.
But Hacks, a lot of the things that you got nowadays, a lot of these like journalists and stuff, they're actually a lot of they're like so full of themselves. Like they don't, they're because everybody's on this whole feminist kick now. Even a lot of guys are on this feminist kick now.
Blame that's a whole topic. Just blame Tumblr for that.
And it's bullshit. You know what? I like the anime. It's it's not over the top. Like House of the Dead. I'm sorry, like High School of the Dead.
No, it is over the top. It is.
No, it's not. I don't consider that bad. I think it's hilarious.
No, it's not gratuitous, but it does have its moments of like little slight etchiness. But
especially if you watch the latest episode.
Satsuki is so messed up.
Yo. Have you watched the latest episode yet?
I haven't seen the latest episode.
When you watch the latest episode, watch that, then come back to me.
That's why she's such a hard ass. I mean, you will be a hard ass if your mom will be touching you while you're.
Yo, I was like, what the hell is this?
Okay, don't stop spoiling it, Elf.
Yo, so was your mouth like, wait, what the hell? When you saw it too, Elf?
No, she did. Of course, thank God she didn't saw that. But like,
and check this out. She's my favorite character on the show. Like Satsuki, that's my character. That's
she's an interesting character.
She's so messed up. Like,
because you could tell from even before that episode, you could tell that she was a conflicted character, and even at the end of this one, it's like, is she going along with what her mother said, or is she about to kick her mom's ass? Yeah, or is she about to go? I'm gonna kick your ass, mom. It's because if you watch, I'm sorry, Neff, but if you watch the opening to this one, and you see the antagonist and the protagonist side by side together, it's like, wait, are they coming to the same side now?
Well, they never actually told her that she's the antagonist. They actually called her the second protagonist.
Yeah, because you noticed some of the things she says were like when the Grand Courier came and she was like, I guess it's up to her to take care of her now. She wanted her to win.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch it, Hacks, and I'm gonna get back to you because I'm gonna hit you up, and because I've been meaning to watch it, I just haven't had time.
Yeah, I've been on that show like clockwork. But I love that show.
But I love that show too. I love it. I'm sad that I haven't been able to watch it like I wanted to.
But the reason why I asked you about anime is I was surprised that you haven't said anything on one of your favorite series about what they had just said about it recently.
What?
You must have missed it.
What?
Something about Ghost in the Shell.
What about Ghost in the Shell?
DreamWorks is going to have a live action Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yeah, dude, come on! I heard about that shit.
Yeah.
That's not nothing I want to talk about.
Hold on.
I was waiting for that.
But wait, Hacks. The reason I'm not talking about it because that's so far. It's so far removed removed. Hello, it's so far removed from like coming anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? Like
not only that, Max. Sorry, Neff.
Max.
Not only that.
Max, yeah.
They've been doing
Max
this
too. It's Max too.
They've been doing this run around for years.
Exactly,
how many times have we heard this before? They're gonna do Ghost in the Shell. They're gonna do Ghost in the Shell. They're gonna do Ghost in the Shell.
Exactly. Thank you, Elf. Exactly.
Yeah, I know. They've been talking about, but they finally made the deal. They finally made it official, guys.
Didn't they say the same thing about Death Note?
Okay.
Didn't they say the same thing about Death Note? And we have it. We have the rights. No.
Okay,
no.
But Hacks, did they give a date of?
No, they're obviously there's no fucking date.
Right. So even
I'm just surprised you haven't brought it up because I thought you would have made a big deal about this.
Because even it's still nothing to bring up because
it's vaporware.
Okay, they said
it's never gonna happen.
They said, right, exactly. I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen because they can come out with just a movie, just come out with it fast and it be a piece of shit like it probably will, like the only way it probably could. You know, like I have no faith for no Ghost in the Shell live Hollywood film.
Is James Cameron still trying to do Battle Angel Attila after all this time?
I hope not. I hope that
He's
fell
been
through
trying
a long
to
time
do
ago.
that thing since the 90s.
Yeah, Battle Angel Alita. Right. I remember that shit too. I remember that back in the days too. Like, I hope not. I hope it fell through. I hope he got tired of trying to do it because I don't want to see another James Cameron movie for a long time. Like, Avatar was garbage. You know, like...
there's an Avatar 2.
There's an Avatar 2 coming out. There's an Avatar 3 coming out. And speaking of Avatar,
even
it's going to be a Last Airbender sequel.
Listen, I hope M. Night Shyamalan's not doing a sequel.
I don't know. I don't care anymore. All I know is Nick does not learn their lessons.
Okay, but even still, with James Cameron's Avatar, even if it's getting a sequel, it's still a horrible flick. It's not a good film. It's not a good film, like in terms of like the story, characters.
Remember when it's whack. What's it called? Peter Jackson's New Zealand company, Weta, they was trying to make a concept on Evangelion.
Oh, really? God, I'm glad that fell through the cracks. I was so happy that.
No. Peter Jackson is fucking amazing. If Peter Jackson involved in something, like I have hope for it.
Well, that fell true. But they were making the designs for that. They were going to change a few of the characters into Western people. Like Asuka was going to change.
That's a shame, but it's kind of understandable why they would do that. But Peter Jackson, even if it fell through, Peter Jackson was involved in it, so I had faith in it because Peter Jackson is fucking phenomenal. That guy is a fucking great director when it comes to certain things. Like he's like Del Toro, but like even more crazy and detail oriented. You know, like he's one of the few guys that could pull off an anime live action film.
Oh yeah. And then there was those concept drawings they did of a live action Voltron.
Who did it? It wasn't. Who did it though? Who was involved in that? That Voltron.
Fox was trying to make that as a counterpoint to the Transformers film.
No, it would have been terrible because Fox doesn't know what the fuck they're doing with a lot of shit. Like I said, unless they have somebody like Peter Jackson, I have no faith for no Voltron film by Fox. Fox is hard.
And finally, Tobey Maguire is still trying to do a Robotech movie.
Who's trying to do a Robotech movie?
Tobey Maguire has been trying to finance a Robotech movie. Already gold for years, but he keeps falling through.
Tobey Maguire, are you serious?
Yeah, he wants to do a Robotech movie.
Yep.
Like, I have no faith. Like, what makes him think he could do a Robotech movie? Like,
he's not the only one who was interested. There was rumor Leonardo DiCaprio wanted to do it as well.
Okay, but Leonardo DiCaprio is a phenomenal actor. Like, the guy's a phenomenal. Like, Tobey Maguire doesn't have that type of credibility to be talking about.
He did have a lot of money after Spider-Man, and he had a lot of money.
But it's not just about the money. It's about
Yo, Elf. Let me ask you a question. You think he's got that money to get over the entire Robotech Harmony Go license shit?
That's the thing. Harmony Go is not playing ball with anybody.
Nobody.
It doesn't matter how big. You could be freaking You could be Scorsese and say they want to do a Robotech movie, and say,
you know what, and fuck Harmony Gold, because they're the main reason why nobody in the States got to see any of the goodness from any of the latest Macross movies.
Right, exactly.
So that was just straight up,
I know. I mean, I got to see it.
Yeah, well, yeah. Obviously, if you got the subs and whatnot, but it's fucked up that nobody can get it.
Right, I understand. Like in terms of like the mainstream, like being able to buy it. I understand saying that.
They've missed out on a phenomenal series, several phenomenal series at that.
But I thought Harmony Gold was like defunct. I thought they went bankrupt.
No.
From my Comic-Con adventures, because Hacks couldn't go, they're alive and they're just milking a franchise into the goddamn ground.
Yep.
Wow.
No, they already did.
But how are they milking it? It's not like there's any
dude, they're not milking it to the ground. They're drilling for fucking oil.
Oh yeah, it's not
straight
like,
up.
But dude, but what are they? It's not like there's any Robotech product come out or anything like that.
There is actually.
There's tons.
There's tons of them actually.
I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about Macross.
We're not talking about Macross. We're not talking about it at all.
Yeah.
But I don't. What? Tell me what Robotech product has been out. Like I haven't seen anything recently.
They have a whole slew of DVDs come out or have come out already. Plus movies,
novels, comic books,
tabletop games, clothing, gear, the whole
models, toys.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of toys that come out of Japan for Robotech that are they're killing it.
But wait, can't Japan? I mean, because Harmony Gold has had this license for
There was a rumor in Japan that somebody was going to oppose them, but they never did. The word is Harmony Gold technically doesn't own the license for it, but nobody wants to oppose them.
Whoa. Harmony Gold technically doesn't own the license to Macross.
It's more like...
I'm asking Hacks. What did you just say?
Yes, that's what I said. There's a technical... Actually, there's an article that I have that talks about that.
Fuck, send that shit to me, please. Send that fucking.
It's on the website.
Fucking article to me.
Yeah, it's on the website, dude.
Oh, okay. I'll check the website.
Which is the Outerhaven.net.
So are you serious? So nobody wants to. Why doesn't anybody wants to oppose them? They don't have the rights to it.
Because they don't really see Robotech as or Macross as a merchandisable thing outside of Japan.
Yeah. Okay. Here. I'll do it since I don't feel like digging through this shit. Okay. The company that sold the license to Harmony Gold was Tatsunoko. Okay, they sold it like many years ago. Okay, here's the deal.
Right.
When they sold the license, they didn't own it.
Wait, so Tatsunoko didn't own the license when they sold it to Harmony Gold?
Correct.
So wait. So who made Macross?
I think Tatsunoko was just the animation company. They
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but who owns the property?
No idea anymore.
Nobody.
Wow. That's the problem.
Because again, remember,
Robotech, if that's the truth.
Robotech is Macross, Mospita, and that other thing that I forget.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is that if that's true, then
here's a quote from the article. Here. A recent Japanese ruling states that Tatsunoko, the Japanese company that sold the Macross license to Harmony Gold, did not own the Macross license in the first place. It was never in any position to sell the license to Harmony Gold. According to the ruling, Big West, the original creators of Macross, quote unquote, don't know anymore, own the international rights. Based on his ruling, Big West has obtained an injunction barring Harmony Gold from selling or licensing further Macross merchandise. This was in 2002, and they're still selling it because nobody wants to oppose them.
Why not? It doesn't make any sense as to
because
why
they don't see it as a as something worthwhile to oppose.
Yes.
They have Gundam, they have Tengen Toppa, Gurren Lagann, they have Attack on Titan. They don't need another giant robot.
Because outside of Japan, they don't give a rat's ass. The only positive thing that Harmony Gold is doing is giving it to us. But because they can't get the rights to any new shit, all they can keep doing is shoveling old stuff at us. Remake, HD remake, HD Super Master remake. That's it. Have you ever noticed that Harmony Gold has never given you anything new?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't keep up with Harmony Gold. Like I said, like I said a few minutes ago, like I wasn't aware of any new product they have released. I don't keep up with Harmony. Like Harmony Gold is so far off my radar. Like I said, I thought they were bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? I thought they were gone years ago.
Nope, they got that money. They keep
getting money.
Wow.
Pretty much from the nostalgia.
Wow.
So there you go, Neff.
But wait. It doesn't make sense because like what's that fucking shit? Tenga Tapka, whatever that shit is with.
Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann, right? Like that shit is. I mean, it's a well-known anime, but it's not like big like it's not like big like that over here like that. It
depends. It depends.
I
mean,
it was.
No, what I'm saying is not. It's not. It doesn't have. No, what I'm saying it doesn't have Gundam type. Like notoriety, it's big, but it's not like big like Gundam is over here.
Gundam has weight under itself. It's been a continuous series. There's like only one Gurren Lagann, so plus an OVA.
But what I'm saying is that Macross is just as big as Gundam in terms of just like people love Macross over here. Like
I don't think they're as big as Gundam, just because Gundam has the momentum that it's had for a long time, and the fact that anything that comes out in Japan will eventually make itself over here. Because
basically, if you want to even though it's Japanese, technically the biggest thing in America comparable to Gundam is Transformers.
Yep.
And then under that is Voltron, and then under that.
Everybody else kills each other.
Everybody else but Robotech.
Basically.
Nah, see, the only reason Robotech is not big over here is because of Harmony Gold. That's the only reason. Like
that's it. Yeah, exactly.
That's the only reason. Like if somebody was to stop being a little punk and would just contest them for the rights, Macross would be big over here. Like get the rights to tell Harmony Gold to go fuck themselves, and release some product over here that's recent. I mean, like shit would be big. Like Macross is awesome, man. I love Macross, man. That's my shit.
Yeah, I'm more. To me, my opinion of it's like if someone's gonna contest to this, they're gonna have to tell everybody. They're gonna have to tell everybody in the room that they got it, and they have to believe they got it, and it's gonna work. I don't think anybody has that kind of clout yet where I can say, you know what? I'm gonna make a Robotech movie, HD graphics, Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm all in. Give me the rights. No one's going to do it.
Several Hollywood studios has that clout. It's just they don't want it.
No,
exactly.
I think there's something more that is not being revealed that has to do with this Harmony. I don't think it's just because Tatsunoko sold the rights unrightfully sold the rights to Macross to Harmony Gold. I think it's more to that. It has to be more to that because it doesn't make any sense because that doesn't make any sense. Macross is a well-known property that has ties in the West. Like people know Macross. People know Macross. Macross is big.
No, people know Robotech.
Yeah, people know Robotech. We don't.
No. Listen, people know Robotech, but people have since known the source. They know Macross now. It's not that people are not familiar with. People know Macross now. Obviously, Robotech was first of what we were given. But since then, we've become familiar
but those are people in the know. Those are people who have been part of the anime scene. The general public.
Dude, nobody who's not aware of the anime scene would not know Robotech. Come on.
I can actually answer people who don't know Robotech, and these are the new age otakus. They don't know nothing about Robotech. I can be honest with you. My brother's a new age otaku. He knows nothing about Robotech.
No. But they don't know Macross either?
Nope, he doesn't know none of that stuff. I'm being real talk. Like new age otakus don't know about that stuff. They
pretty much see a Valkyrie and they think it's from something else.
Yeah, they'll say Persona first. If they see a Valkyrie, they'll say.
How the fuck they gonna say fucking Persona and they see a Valkyrie? That don't make no fucking sense.
Because Valkyrie's a summon in Persona 2, dude. Remember? That's the Persona 2 joke.
I was talking about the spaceship. I wasn't talking about the name. But
oh, my bad.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
Wait, Matt. What did you think we were talking about?
No. When he said Valkyrie, the first thing I thought was either one, Persona 2 summon, or two summon on a hot scaling kind of name.
Be real. If you wanted to take it like that, you could have just said Valkyria Chronicles. Come on.
Oh yeah. Because that would have been better. That's the best game ever.
Dude, because they're called They're called Valkyries, like the ships.
I know.
Like, so I'm thinking, you know what you're talking. This nigga said Valkyria Chronicles. Wow. Matt,
so
Matt
I guess one last thing before we head out. Unfortunately, in this Super Bowl weekend, we found out that
Super Bowl bitch.
Philip Seymour Hoffman is dead.
Yep, found dead in his apartment.
What? From what? From what? What was he found dead in his apartment? From what?
Overdose.
This motherfucker was on drugs, really?
Yep.
He has had a drug problem before, but yeah.
Wow.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
The dust.
Yep.
Wow.
So can I ask a question then? Now, before you found out that he died due to overdoing, does it change your wow he's dead, or does it change your opinion?
No, I still thought that he's a great actor. I know he was under stress because most of his roles were always like that, always very serious, very demanding. So I know it kind of stresses actors out, but I didn't realize he would.
Dude, it's sad. I mean, it's so fucking sad because the cat was only 46.
He's only 45 years old.
46.
Think he's old, but
yeah,
I know.
45.
Yeah, it's a shame. I mean, just because he died over a drug overdose, that doesn't lessen his death. It's a shame.
You know what's weird?
He was a very good actor.
It's kind of cold, but I thought he was gonna die out of weight problems.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna have a heart attack.
That's not cool. I mean, looking at his appearance, okay, fine, that's something reasonable. You can make an assumption, but you never think that somebody's gonna OD on drugs and die.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I never knew much. I never knew his personal life. Like, I just know him. I just know some of his movies he was in and stuff. I've seen some of them, but like I didn't know anything about him. But it's like I didn't know he was on drugs. So it's like, wow.
Personally, I'm more like, when I found out he died, I'm like, okay, if it's a murder that somebody did it, rage. No one's flipping out about it. It must have been something he did. When I found out it was drugs, I'm like, the first thing I said was drugs. Really, drugs? Then I started putting together. Wait, he's Philip Seymour Hoffman. Yeah, it had to be drugs.
Wow.
It had to be drugs.
So Dan, it's sad. He was a good actor. He was very good actor.
It doesn't lessen his legacy. It's just that's a crap way to go out.
It is a crap way. Because God, rest his soul. Like hope is hope his family. He had family and stuff, right?
Yeah.
My heart goes out to his family.
Is it me or every time we seem to end these podcasts?
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's like, damn, that's not good.
Now. Like, if we can do that.
I agree with Matt. We're that good. Like, we're fucking tops.
Yeah, everyone died. Like, the only thing we can do now is, we're like Space Dandy. Somebody dies, we'll just come back next episode. We got this.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. We're America's sweetheart right now.
Final thoughts.
Final thoughts.
So let's final thoughts.
I got this. Final thoughts. For those of you expecting a loading screen podcast that will come sometime, I would say next week or the week after, during either the week of Valentine's Day weekend or the week before it.
It'll come out when we have something worth talking about, because we already talked about all this game stuff now.
Well, don't worry. There's more indie gaming stuff news, right, Hax? We always got some indie crap to talk about.
Yeah, you gotta remember, quarter 4 2013, first half of 2014, end of 2013, beginning of 2014 is going to be slow. It's always slow. Every gaming year, it's always slow.
And again, for those people fans of Living Screen, we're sorry for not being around. Just bad stuff happens, so
Life is a cruel mistress.
It is. And for you guys for Bookshelf Podcast, we'll have a new episode on racism coming up maybe soon. Whenever Carlos stops talking to black people. Yeah, I called it.
Damn.
You heard that, guys? Shut up. I can't talk to you now.
Oh wow. That's crazy. My final thought is I'm probably more than likely done with Microsoft, like in terms of the games, like Xbox. Like, I'm not getting an Xbox One. I seriously doubt I'll ever get an Xbox One. It pretty much will have to be some amazing consistent shit in the next couple of years for me to like get an Xbox One. Like I'm done with them. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with them. Like aside from Xbox 360, I'm done with them. Like I can't. I don't see myself getting anything more from. I'm just done. Like they're just.
I know.
Like
all right,
just.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Grieve.
Yeah.
Final two thoughts. If me and Gabe can watch The Last Airbender, then I'm okay with watching Michael Bay's crappy Ninja Turtle film, even though I know it's gonna suck.
Carlos, when you die, can I put on your grave that you died the way you live, expecting nothing?
Yeah.
Come on,
I don't mind that. Also, other thought, Matt.
Yeah.
When I'm done with things, upload them. Please.
Yo, I am hella busy, dude. You already know I'm living the accountant lifestyle.
Well, some parts before you go out to train with your arcade stuff, just remember, put it on the Dropbox, then put it on the YouTube.
Yeah, I will actually work on that, and I will definitely, like I said, I'll coordinate a lot better now. I'll try to. It's really, really hard for these days. I mean,
also don't lose our contacts.
Yeah, those are. Yeah. Oh, and bookshelf potato chips don't sell anymore.
Hey, Elf.
I told you that was a bad marketing idea to begin with. This is why we don't listen to Gabe on his stuff.
Yeah,
hey,
man.
Elf.
Yeah.
Elf. I don't think the new Ninja Turtles could be worse than that Last Airbender film. I don't think it could be that bad.
Do you really
Don't
want to
say
that?
Bet? Don't say that.
Do you really take that kind of bet?
I mean,
you want to take that kind of bet?
I mean, I'm gonna be real with you, like M. Night Shyamalan he's just at the bottom of the barrel. Like Michael Bay, like anybody Michael Bay's circle, like anybody that he would pick to do it, like gotta be definitely better than anything M. Night Shyamalan.
All I know is I don't want to watch the film, awesome. But I'm going to make them have my money anyway.
Like I said, man.
I'm just not listen. I'm just not liking the way the turtles are looking. Like but it could definitely be a good film. But
look, I'm willing to pay money for the adventures of the Thug Turtles versus White Shredder.
Yeah, like I said, I have no hope in general because I am Ninja Turtled out. I've actually stopped caring about Ninja Turtles after.
Dude, have you watched the Nickelodeon show, man?
I have. I just don't care for it anymore. I just like that's it. To me, I'll just keep my Ninja Turtles from like the classics up to like 2006 and just read IDW comics and I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
just keep myself pure.
Keep it in the IDW comics. It gets better and better every.
That's the only thing I'm gonna do. Like I'll just keep myself pure. I don't really have any faith outside of that anymore. Like just
right. Okay.
Because it's not. I'm not saying the series is crap, but I'm just getting really tired of somebody fucking it up for me.
No, listen. I agree with you. I understand what you're saying.
Like it's not that hard to not mess it up, and yet you do it.
Oh wait! Shout out to Gabriel Z/Remain. I forgot. This last weekend he went to be part of the Global Game Jam 2014. He and his friends came up with something I think you and Neff would like.
What is that?
It's a text adventure that is based on visual novels. It's called Inverted Heart. You can find that.
Sounds like a mud.
Nah, I'm not into text or like text.
Yeah, but it's about trying to school with a Japanese schoolgirl.
No,
that's my alley. So yeah.
But I'm not into visual novels either. And I'm I'm not into Japanese schoolgirls as in me. I'm into just pervy. I'm just into perv everything, So
yeah, it has to be ecchi or nothing.
Right, exactly. It's not, because I don't got like a thing for Japanese schoolgirls. I'm not, I'm not that type of guy, So
yeah, but to me, it's like I'll like I said, I'll check it out. I'll probably do something on it. And I guess my final thought is that for guys looking forward to another article written by yours truly, I'll have a review of the Sheva, which is a point-and-click adventure game made by Wadjet Eye Games?
Wadjet Eye.
Wadjet Eye. There you go. Yeah, Wadjet Eye. I'll be doing a review on Sheva on that, and hopefully you guys will see it sometime soon. It's gonna be great. And Hacks, you got any plans for us, man? Any final thoughts on you?
You know what? My final thoughts is everybody go out and enjoy the Super Bowl. And as always, we like the fact that you guys are listening to us and giving us the chance to appeal to your senses and maybe throw some chaos your way. So please keep listening to us. And as always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, send them our way. We love to hear your feedback because that'll help us get better. Well, hopefully, anyway.
Anyway.
All right.
And make sure you watch Kill la Kill. Make sure you watch it.
Cool. Well, Kill la Kill? Yeah, Kill la Kill, yeah.
All right, guys.
Do it for All
right, guys. This is...
All right, guys.
Yeah,
Great
podcast.
See you next podcast. Bye.
Bye.